Chapter 281. Eye-catching. But Danzo-sama. But what are you waiting for? Do you want to use Kotoamatsukami on me too? Uchiha Shisui was about to try to persuade Danzo, but was interrupted again by a cold voice. But, at this time. No wait, Uchiha Shisui went to explain. Danzo was already murderous, and he didn't give him a chance to speak. When Uchiha Shisui saw Danzo, he had come to the front. For Konoha, you feel free to leave the Sharingan to me. Saying that, Danzo has stretched out his hand and moved towards Uchiha Shisui's eyes. Danzo-sama. Hearing Danzo's words blurted out, Uchiha Shisui naturally knew his intentions clearly. Just as Danzo stretched out his hand, Uchiha Shisui's Sharingan immediately appeared. The gorilla Yuhi-colored light flashed, and the three Tomo spun. At this moment, Danzo's heart thumped, and his whole body began to go limp. He, who had just been tyrannical in battle, now seems to have become a lamb to be slaughtered, and he has no consciousness at all. Seeing Danzo like this, Uchiha Shisui said apologetically, "It's just an ordinary demonic illusion. Danzo-sama, you will soon be able to wake up. Turn around and leave." He now wants to go to the third generation, and then explain everything. Hehe, ordinary demonic illusion. That's a bit naive. Just when Uchiha Shisui was inadvertent, Danzo, who had just collapsed, moved his left hand slightly. "Shisui, your Sharingan, give it to me with peace of mind." Boom. The next second. Before Uchiha Shisui left, a loud noise appeared. It was under him. What? Uchiha Shisui's eyes widened. Danzo just broke out in front of him. He was not controlled by demonic illusion at all, and everything before was just an illusion. Bang! With a punch, Uchiha Shisui was directly hit in the abdomen. The unresponsive attack made him unable to react at all and was shot into the air. Bang! 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 Danzo's flowing body techniques directly suppressed Uchiha Shisui. Under the attack of fast body techniques, Danzo reached out his hand in an inadvertent moment. PFF'd. Uchiha Shisui's right eye was directly gouged out, firmly in Danzo's hands. Damn. Uchiha Shisui eats pain and bites Kiba immediately. Retreat. He didn't stop looking up until he was 100 meters away from Danzo. You think you can still leave? Your Sharingan, it will be my replacement. Danzo saw that Uchiha Shisui dodged his next attack. He was not surprised, but looked at him indifferently. Saying that, Danzo slowly untied the straps tied to his head, and the blinded eye was exposed in front of Uchiha Shisui's eyes. Sharingan. Uchiha Shisui's heart skipped a beat, and his face showed shock. But Uchiha Shisui won't admit it. The Sharingan of his own Uchiha clan is now in Danzo's eyes. He can't believe it. Don't tell me. Uchiha Shisui reluctantly recalled the clansmen who disappeared before. Without exception, all of them turned on Sharingan. Apparently now Danzo has invisibly let Uchiha Shisui find the answer. Leave him here. Danzo didn't explain anything, but stood there staring at Uchiha Shisui and said. Swish, swish, swish. Several figures flashed over and appeared around Danzo. Without exception, all wore root combat uniforms with animal masks on their faces. Hands on. Getting Danzo's order, the root ninja couldn't help but say it immediately. Kill towards Uchiha Shisui. The eyes behind their masks had endless killing intent, and they didn't want to show mercy at all. Damn. Uchiha Shisui saw that Danzo was so determined, he bit Kiba immediately. Quick hand seal. Kaden fire style, great fireball jutsu. Chakra quickly condenses, and a huge fireball bombards directly forward, with a huge range. Although people are not close, they can still feel the scorching temperature. In the dark surroundings, a bright light has been shown through Yuhi. Sweetened water style, wild water wave. Seeing Uchiha Shisui's Kaden fire style ninjutsu, the root ninja rushing forward is equally fast and hand seal. Fire style to intercept the past. Even though Uchiha Shisui's ninjutsu is very powerful, it is still counteracted in the face of dozens of complex Suiten, water-style ninjutsu. Sheila. The fusion of water and fire produces huge water vapor. A white mist shrouded the surroundings. Everyone couldn't see clearly what was going on around them. When the white mist-like water vapor dissipated, Uchiha Shisui had already disappeared in place. Left. It seems that his instant body technique has become a lot stronger. Danzo looked at the empty space ahead and muttered to himself. Uchiha Shisui's escape did not make him feel a pity. The words fell, he turned around expressionlessly, walked to the back without turning his head, and slowly merged into the darkness. Kill him. Bring me the other eye. Yes, Lord Danzo. The main road of Konoha village. Whoosh. A dark shadow came quickly. Uchiha Shisui, who fled at the route, covering his eyes at the moment, with cold sweat on his forehead. He had no idea that today's Danzo went to see himself to ask these questions, just to take away his Sharingan. It seems that everything before is just to let his guard down. And his real purpose must be decided to destroy all the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Shisui's heart sinks to the bottom. He knows that his plan has not started, and it has completely failed now. Danzo, he doesn't trust himself at all, and more so he doesn't trust the entire Uchiha clan. Even for the third generation of Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, he is also in a state of distrust. Swish, swish, swish. At this moment, when Uchiha Shisui lost his mind for a moment, dozens of root ninjas appeared behind them. They will not let themselves go. Kaden, fire style, great fireball jutsu. Uchiha Shisui hand seal released ninjutsu again. Just in the midst of chaos, he released the shunjutsu and left here. Lord Danzo needs you, you can't escape. Dozens of root ninjas snorted and continued to chase Uchiha Shisui quickly. However, at this moment, no one noticed. A black crow flapped its wings and was flying towards the station of the Uchiha clan. The location there. It's Uchiha Itachi's home. I finished the 7 shifts, I couldn't hold it anymore, I drank 3 nines, I'll go to rest first. Feilu reminds you. 3 things to read, collection, push the latest chapter Baidu search 99 Playmates find 99 Novel Network. Chapter 282. Desperate Shisui. Wow, wow, wow. There was a roar of crows. It slowly fell to the position of an eaves. Here is the area where the Uchiha clan resides. And the location where it stays is the residence of Uchiha Itachi. Shisui. Uchiha Itachi, who was just about to rest, came to the roof, looked at the crow in front of him and said. This crow, Uchiha Itachi, is known. It is kept by Shisui, and most of the time he uses them to communicate with the two of them. He frowned, a bad premonition filling his mind. I just met Shisui not long ago, his crow actually came here to find him, is there something wrong with him? Uchiha Itachi whispered to himself. Koto Amatsukami's power was too strong after all, and Uchiha Itachi felt that what he feared might be about to happen. Wow, wow, wow. A black crow flew over, and Uchiha Shisui's voice appeared in Itachi's ear, see you at Nenga River. Swish. After Uchiha Itachi heard Shisui's message, he disappeared on the roof without any hesitation. Outside Konoha village. This is a dense jungle, and it is dark in the dark night, making it difficult to see the direction of travel. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. But for those who have become ninjas, none of this is a big deal. At this time, dozens of root ninjas, with murderous expressions on their faces behind their masks, kept chasing forward. Front of them is Uchiha Shisui, who is fleeing. His previous image had long since disappeared, and now his clothes were covered in dust, and a trace of blood on his closed right eye had long since dried up. Shinchi Shisui, the famous ninja at the time. The strongest demonic illusion ninja. He was embarrassed at the moment. I can't keep running like this. If you can't get rid of them 100%, Itachi will not be able to go there. Around, Uchiha Shisui looked at the Anbu ninja who was chasing behind him. They are not slow, all of them are speed ninjas, good at tracking. Now that his power has been seriously damaged, it seems impossible to really leave. Rid of them then. Uchiha Shisui made a quick decision. Performing dangerous tasks in Anbu all year round, and he has long had no soft-hearted thoughts. Besides, Danzo has already taken one of his own eyes, and this one cannot fall into his hands anyway. If both eyes are controlled by Danzo, the Chia family and even Konoha will be a bad thing. Really, this is completely contrary to his original intention. No more escaping. Uchiha Shisui Quick Hand Seal. An instant technique. Almost instantly, Uchiha Shisui turned into a black shadow and disappeared in the blink of an eye. All are still there. Anbu was in hot pursuit. They didn't even react. Uchiha Shisui was gone. Root Ninja's expression froze, and he swept his gaze around, nervously making a defensive appearance. Instantly Shisui, the entire ninja continent knows that his strength is tyrannical and cannot be underestimated. A group of root ninjas were naturally treated with equal care, although he had been seriously injured and weakened a lot. There, he's here. At this time, one of the root ninjas shouted and pointed forward. Front of everyone, Uchiha Shisui was already rushing towards them. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. He quickly threw out several shuriken and stabbed at dozens of root ninjas. Before it was over, a group of root ninjas were preparing on the occasion of the counterattack. Uchiha Shisui once again hand seal. Kaden Fire Style Impatience Claws Yuhi. Hula. A large piece of terrifying flames vented out, extremely wanton, and lightened the dark jungle. I saw only terrifying flames when they appeared. They were all wrapped around the shuriken that was thrown out in front of them and became the new Kaden Fire Style Ninjutsu. This made it still there before. The root ninja who also held the shuriken and was ready to counteract the attack of Uchiha Shisui, completely caught off guard. What? The first few root ninjas opened their eyes wide, and when they reacted, the shuriken had come to them. Under the double damage of Kaden Fire Style and shuriken, they are sure to die. The next second, they just stared wide-eyed and were in shock when they were hit in an instant and became corpses. Sharingan, open. Taking advantage of the absence of a group of root ninjas, Uchiha Shisui's other eye opened Sharingan. 3 Tomo slowly turned on top of Yuhi's eyeball. The surroundings seemed to have become different. However, now a group of panicked root ninjas, they did not react at all. Damn, kill him and take his eyes. Senses, he quickly avoided Uchiha Shisui's attack, and the remaining root ninjas burst out with killing intent. Kaden Fire Style Big Flame Bullet. Futon Wind Style Daitapa Great Breakthrough. Doden Earth Style Dungeon Boundary. Various combinations of ninjutsu began to appear. Root ninjas are good at coordination, they know how to use it. Ninjutsu maximizes the benefits. Kaden Fire Style, which is not strong, is matched with Futon Wind Style. A huge earth wall rises from the ground, trapping Uchiha Shisui in a limited position. The narrow terrain, combined with Kaden Fire Style, that strengthens Futon Wind Style. As long as you get hit, you will die. Whoosh. At this time, a speed-type ninja also quickly dodges. He wants to panic and Uchiha Shisui instantly took off his eyes. Phew. Boom. 3 high earth walls surround Uchiha Shisui, with only one side exposed. Location. There has long been shrouded by the reinforced Kaden Fire Style, which is directly like a giant beast and devours it in an instant. Uchiha Shisui. Success. The speed ninja just now also caught the eye of Uchiha Shisui, and his face behind the mask was sneering. The next second, without waiting for them to rejoice, everyone was shocked. On the side, Uchiha Shisui appeared again. How is this possible? All the root ninjas unbelievably released compound ninjutsu again and attacked Uchiha Shisui again. Still in vain, Uchiha Shisui continued to appear at the next position. In just a short while, the remaining root ninjas were out of breath, and the speed ninja was not knowing how much I have taken. Uchiha Shisui's eyeballs. They are panicking. Please download Filu Shaokin's latest chapter. Baidu search 99 playmates to find 99 novels. Chapter 283. Susanoo reappears in the world. Swish. When a group of root ninjas panicked, they found the other side, and Uchiha Shisui continued to appear. I don't know how many times this is. They are still alive and well, and they don't look like they were wiped out at all. How could this be? Are these his shadow clone? Then see how much chakra he has to waste. Behind each root ninja mask revealed a strong killing intent. There are a lot of them, and even though chakras are not many now. But they think that Uchiha Shisui's chakra is definitely not unlimited. Since that is the case, they are very confident to kill it. Swish, swish. Two Uchiha Shisui are killing them at the moment, throwing several chakras in their hands. Kunai. Soon, a group of root ninjas started to fight back. Continue to join forces to release compound ninjutsu. Suiten, water style. Kaden, fire style. Doden, earth style. Surrounded by ninjutsu combinations of various attributes, he quickly killed two Uchiha Shisui again. If this goes on, my chakra will really be consumed by them. Light off. Seeing that the special shadow clone he made was destroyed, Uchiha Shisui, who was hiding in the dark, murmured to himself. Found you. Phew. With a cold drink, Uchiha Shisui immediately. Face changed, and he saw a huge fireball appearing behind him. The teleportation technique quickly evaded. Boom. A huge shocking sound appeared, looking towards the position where he was just now, where it had already become sea of fire. However, he has already discovered his root ninja, and he does not want to let him go at all. After confirming that he is the real body, a group of root ninjas frantically released ninjutsu to give him a fatal blow. There are several speed-type root ninjas around. They are also constantly looking for opportunities to win their eyes. No more delays. Uchiha Shisui looked at the ninjutsu all around him. He bit Kiba and secretly said, since this is the case, this is the only way. Kang. Three Tomo Sharingan at this moment began to spin, blink, and finally take on the shape of a blade. Mangekyo Sharingan, turn it on. Shisui showed a face that looked like he was going to die, and the only remaining left eye had tears of blood. Susanoo, can be. With a thought, a green flame erupted around Uchiha Shisui. Immediately, a huge half-body skeleton appeared, covering him completely. In an instant, the compound ninjutsu of the root ninjas around him also slammed into him like a rainstorm of pear blossoms. Boom boom boom. The huge sound shook all around, and the whole jungle trembled like an earthquake. Countless birds and beasts fled in panic, falling leaves flying in the sky. At this time, no wait, the ninjas at the root reacted, and a huge skeleton hand suddenly appeared in the center of the explosion. It was wrapped in green flames, so weird and chilling. What is that? This. What the hell? The only remaining root ninjas were stunned, their eyes fixed on Shisui's position. Hula. A huge skeleton hand, the smoke from the explosion just dissipated instantly. A tall tree around was also rumbled and broken, and it was completely unable to stop it. At the same time, while Shisui was desperately trying to frighten the root ninja, no one noticed the other side in the distance. The leader of the palace. A man was standing there quietly. Dressed in white clothes and with a handsome face, the whole body faintly exudes a tyrannical aura. Even if people just look at him, they can't help but feel a lot of pressure. At this moment, his whole person was calm, and he was quietly watching the distance. The power of Susanoo. With his hands on his back, Gung Yi muttered to himself. As early as just now, the moment Uchiha Shisui released Susanoo, it was still, Gung Yi, who was practicing. Had already sensed it. After the third seed of divine consciousness has been condensed, Gung Yi's divine consciousness has become much stronger. It's Susanoo of Uchiha Shisui. Gung Yi thought to himself, now that the plot has started slowly, he must be right. However, the jungle in front does not have Horaishin's positioning spell, so it seems impossible to reach it quickly. Forget it, let's go have a look. Gongyi finished his words, and the whole figure disappeared in place. Boom, boom. When Gongyi arrived, the battle on this side of the jungle was still going on. A half-length skeleton frame burning green flames swept all around. It was surrounded by ruins, and there were many corpses, and it seemed that it had experienced a lot of battle just now. In front, the last few root ninjas looked at the green skeleton in front of them panting. As pale as paper, and their hearts were beating wildly. Is this terrifying ninjutsu the strongest pupil jutsu of the Uchiha clan? It seems to be the case. It seems that he can't last long. We must deal with him. The last few root ninjas are naturally the strongest among the group. It is because of this that they persisted to the end now. Cough cough cough. Seeing the last remaining root ninjas, Shisui, who was inside Susanoo, coughed up a few mouthfuls of blood. Now Uchiha Shisui's left eye is constantly shedding blood and tears, and his whole person has long been weak. He was already a little embarrassed, and now it is even worse. Right eye was taken away by Danzo before, and he suffered several battles later, and now he has to use Zonengu to aggravate his injury. Although Uchiha Shisui is very powerful, it is really impossible to continue to consume it. Besides, he has lost his right eye, and now he has only opened Susanoo with his left eye alone. If it wasn't for his strong talent, I am afraid he wouldn't be able to use it now. However, although Susanoo was successfully opened, it was already a serious overdraft for his vitality. It doesn't matter, if you don't get rid of them today, it seems that you won't be able to get out of here. Uchiha Nomi bit Kiba as if he had made a decision, and his whole body became weaker again. Mangekyo Sharingan in the left eye slowly rotated, and blood and tears flowed out again. Outside, Susanoo, burning with a blazing green flame, has begun to change. After Uchiha Shisui overdrawn the vitality and chakra, it started to be rebuilt. A huge force flooded Susanoo, and blood vessels and tissues appeared in the skeleton Rack's body. They keep interweaving and appearing, and then the skin begins to appear. Originally it belonged to a behemoth, but now it is stronger and more refined. Transformed into a human form. Although the lower body did not appear, the overall strength has long been different from the past. Go to hell. Uchiha Shisui bit Kiba and controlled the huge Susanoo to kill the last root ninja. Chapter 284 The Mangekyo Itachi 3rd. His ninjutsu is still evolving. A root ninja's complexion changed greatly, and the whole person exclaimed. How can this happen? We can't resist any longer. The same is true for the other ninjas at the root. Shisui's current state of Susanoo has given them a great shock. And despair. Uchiha Shisui walked towards them without saying a word. The huge green Susanoo also followed his footsteps and pressed forward. A group of root ninjas stared at the half-length giant covered in green flames. Their previous confidence had been ruthlessly shattered. All began to retreat in horror, and did not want to compete with Uchiha Shisui head-on. Root ninjas in front, they have already seen the end. Faced with this enhanced Susanoo now, the root ninjas no longer have the confidence to complete Danzo's orders. Die! Uchiha Shisui, who was able to talk nonsense with them again, smashed towards them with a rage. With a huge arm swung, Susanoo clenched his fist and slammed it down at a high speed. PFF'd. 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 A few root ninjas who couldn't dodge and were still terrified, they only felt a green shadow passing by, and they were smashed into flesh. However, for the few root ninjas who escaped by chance, their hearts were sinking to the bottom and they could not feel lucky. The other arm of the green giant controlled by Uchiha Shisui turned into a huge spiral sword. King! When the spiral sword appeared, it spun at a high speed and swept towards the last few root ninjas with a mighty force. Damn, he is too powerful. Several root ninjas bit Kiba in the air hand seal, and finally released defensive ninjutsu. Doden, earth style wall. Suigen, water style, water formation wall. But unfortunately, their last weak resistance was just in vain. Uchiha Shisui's Susanoo, they still imagined it too simply. Its first form, Susanoo with a skeleton-like appearance, had long since disappeared. This second form of Susanoo, its power has long been different from what it used to be. Now it is covered with meridians and flesh and blood on the basis of the skeleton, and is even more wrapped in coat-like chakra. Not only that, but now Shisui can also unlock Susanoo's spell, and can use his own weapons and ninjutsu. It's just the root group of ninjas. They want to escape under the second form of Susanoo, which is completely unrealistic. Unfortunately, my life is severely overdrawn, and my life is not long. Standing inside Susanoo, Shisui looked at the root ninja in front of him with regret. After Susanoo, it seems that I can't use it anymore. Boom boom boom. The huge roar was deafening. The defense of the ninja just ahead was like tissue paper, and it was immediately shattered by Shisui's Susanoo spiral sword. Become mashed. Poof. Just as the last root ninja died, Shisui finally couldn't hold on anymore. The huge bust Susanoo degenerated rapidly, the vascular tissue began to dissipate, turned into a huge skeleton frame, and then began to transform into two only huge skeleton hands, and finally they became chaotic green flames, which gradually extinguished. Cough, cough, cough. When Susanoo disappeared, Uchiha Shisui vomited blood. The thick and strong beside him, Uchiha Shisui looked at the corpse of the ninja whose roots were no longer in human form in front of him. Sharingan he had left at the moment was blooming with the glow of the orangutan Yuhi, like a ghostly phantom in the night, looking a little chilly. Soon, Mangekyo Sharingan transformed into 3 Tomo Sharingan, and finally turned into ordinary black eyes. The vitality is passing too fast. It seems that I need to see Itachi soon. The blood remaining on the corners of his mouth, Uchiha Shisui murmured secretly despite the discomfort all over his body. Forcibly using Susanoo have already appeared, and he is doomed to death. But until then, this eye must not fall into Danzo's hands. Looking at these now, the root ninja who chased and killed himself knew that Danzo was already doing everything he could to get his other eye. Absolutely can't be let. He succeeded. Swish. Forcibly hanging his last breath, Uchiha Shisui immediately leaping forward, he disappeared into the depths of the emptiness of the dark jungle. There is the location of Nanhi River. Nanhi River, on the edge of the cliff. This is the place where Itachi and Shisui used to practice together. Over time, a tacit understanding was formed, and the two would come here to discuss anything. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi has come here early, and he is standing there frowning tightly. Not long after the two of them were separated here, Shisui called himself back, which always made him restless. Shisui, what the hell happened to him? Uchiha Itachi looked forward, and the whole person was a little worried about it. At this moment, an unpleasant figure flashed over, and the weak Uchiha Shisui came to him. Itachi. Shisui you. Uchiha Itachi's pupils shrank, and his heart sank when he looked at the embarrassed Uchiha Shisui. I saw Uchiha Shisui's closed right eye, where the bloodstain had dried up for a long time. And this look of serious overdraft, obviously he just encountered a big battle. Looks like I can't stop Uchiha's coup. As you said, I'm still too naive to think about these things. Uchiha Shisui said, walking towards the edge of the cliff of the Nanga River. In order to prevent Konoha from falling into the dilemma of civil war, I wanted to use Koto Amatsukami to stop this. But Danzo still refuses to trust me and even took my right eye. I think after today, Danzo will never let go of my other eye. Shisui said and touched his left eye. Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi didn't say anything and looked at Shisui with a complicated expression on his face. The current situation, Uchiha Itachi had no idea that it would turn into this. It's useless to say anything now. Since Danzo is determined to protect the village in his own way, we have no control. That being the case, Itachi. Uchiha Shisui paused as he spoke, then digged his hand towards his own eye. Then this eye, I will give it to you. Shisui, you. Uchiha Itachi's face was moved, and he opened his mouth, not knowing what to say. Itachi, now that this situation has developed, I can believe it, and I can ask for it. And you are the only good friend. His left eye towards Uchiha Itachi, Shisui closed his eyes and said calmly, protect the village and keep Uchiha's name. The scene was silent. The cold night wind blows gently, and the white full moon hangs high in the air. Uchiha Itachi looked at Shisui. He finally closed his eyes and couldn't bear to look. Whoa whoa whoa, a black crow that flew high in the distance and landed on Shisui's hand. After lifting the eyeball, the crow immediately disappeared and turned into black feathers all over the sky. Uchiha Itachi looked at Shisui and asked. I'll take it, Shisui, what do you want to do next? It's very simple Itachi, as long as I die, the situation will change, and the suicide note has been left on the way. Uchiha Shisui said, and stepped back to the edge of the cliff. Itachi heard this, and the face that had just been silent showed a shocked expression. Shisui, wait. Don't stop me, Itachi. Uchiha Shisui took a step back and was. Cliff, he smiled. Konoha village has a powerful Lord Gongyi. Maybe don't worry. No one in the entire ninja continent dares to provoke, so the future of the Uchiha family needs to rely on their Itachi. The words fall, there is no waiting. Uchiha Itachi spoke again. Shisui leaned back with a smile, and fell down. Shisui. Uchiha Itachi could no longer remain calm, and the whole person stepped forward and tried to hold him. It was still a step behind. The steam from the surrounding waterfalls was like white fog, and Itachi quickly lost sight of Uchiha Shisui. Shisui. Uchiha Itachi was lying on the edge of the cliff, looking at Shisui's figure that could no longer be captured, only the white mist that filled the surrounding area. His eyes were shedding blood and tears. 3 Tomo Sharingan slowly turned, and finally formed the shape of a windmill. Uchiha Itachi, Mangekyo Sharingan, open. Please download Filu Shoukan latest chapter to read the novel without underline. Chapter 285. Control Gongyi, 4th. Unfortunately, a brilliant genius. Gongyi, who came from the palace, shook his head, looked at Uchiha Shisui who was thrown into the river, shook his head and whispered. When he sensed Susanoo before, Gongyi was already heading here. But without Hiraishin's orientation seal, he wouldn't be able to get here for a moment. So, when he arrived, Shisui also jumped off the cliff. Gongyi was a little regretful at the moment. This kind of emotion soon stopped. His pair of eyes had long been calm, and Shisui was calm. Anything now is not enough for him to really move. At this moment, Gongyi stood tall and straight, standing firmly above the Nanhi River. In the air, there seemed to be an invisible platform that was firmly supporting him. Head sideways, Gongyi saw Uchiha Itachi on the edge of the cliff. Mangekyo Sharingan. Is it already turned on? Faint smile, Gongyi walked towards him. Stepping forward, a ripple appeared in the surrounding void, as if stepping on the water. Immediately afterwards, he continued to walk down, carrying his hands on his back as if he were walking on the ground. It was like this casually walking down step by step, as if invisible steps were formed above the void, which made people feel extremely surprised. Master Gongyi. Uchiha Itachi also noticed the difference at this time. He raised his head and looked at Gongyi in front of him. It's really a pair of eyes that stun the world. I don't know how far your eyes can see. Gongyi came to Uchiha Itachi, and he stared at Mangekyo Sharingan and said lightly. Master Gongyi. Uchiha Itachi opened his mouth, but he really hesitated. The answer is already in your heart. How to choose now? I don't think I need to answer again. Gongyi smiled, as if he saw through what Uchiha Itachi wanted to ask. The dark eyes are like stars, full of endless depth and mystery. Uchiha Itachi can feel that even if he has turned on Mangekyo Sharingan, he still can't see through Gongyi in front of him. A long silence, Gongyi left, and he didn't speak any further. He didn't want to interfere in the affairs of the Uchiha family and Konoha. Everything is on point. A long time, Uchiha Itachi turned around and Mangekyo Sharingan retracted. Shisui, I will complete your idea of protecting the village for you. Looking up, there is the direction of Konoha village. Itachi whispered to himself, the coup within the clan should also be undertaken by me. Konoha 56 years. A peaceful night has passed by. 1. The sun rising in the west is full of white mansions, and the endless light illuminates the whole land. Inside Konoha village. Today, 4. Normal people come. It was just an ordinary day. But for the Uchiha family, and the Konoha core executives, this is not the case. Shisui, a well-known ninja in the village, his sudden disappearance made many people suspicious. Uchiha clan who were going to stage a coup. There are also people who already know that they are about to coup. The core high-level people of Konoha village and others. They have already smelled a feeling that the mountains and the rain are about to come and the building is full of wind. Even Shisui's death, unnaturally, has indirectly become the fuse for the two sides to ignite a civil war. Konoha deep underground, root. Inside Danzo's office. Swish. A root ninja wearing an animal mask. He knelt down in front of Danzo's eyes and reported, Lord Danzo, a ninja squadron we sent out before was all killed, and there are several corpses that can no longer be distinguished. It should be caused by some kind of secret technique, so I suspect that now Uchiha Shisui, he may also be dead soon. Secret art. Danzo's face was gloomy, and when he heard the report of the root ninja, he murmured to himself, could it be the power of that eye? Yes, that is an irresistible force. They are all fatally struck by one blow. I am afraid that ordinary ninjutsu cannot do it at all. Nodding, the root ninja replied. How about Uchiha Itachi? After he went back last night, did he go out? Danzo suppressed his thoughts and got up, leaning on crutches in his hand and walked to the front of the root ninja. Hearing this, the root ninja shook his head in denial. Without going out, the chance of Uchiha Shisui finding him is almost zero. It seems that Uchiha Shisui should have left here. Danzo frowned, showing a trace of unwillingness. Strengthen the monitoring of Uchiha Itachi, and the entire Uchiha clan. Understood, Danzo-sama. The root ninja nodded and disappeared. Watching the reporting ninja leave, Danzo's only exposed pupil showed a cold glow. It seems that the second eye can't be found, but it's enough. On crutches, Danzo was already thinking about his next move. The horror of Koto Amatsukumi's ability is that it lies in the invisible control of others and the change of mind and will. As long as I'm a complete master, even Gong Yi, then it's impossible to resist. When the time comes, as long as you control him and possess such an invincible humanoid weapon, the entire ninja continent will surrender to Konoha village. Danzo thought of Koto Amatsukumi's ability, and then thought of Gong Yi, and a rare smile appeared on his gloomy expression just now. Gong Yi's power does not need to be questioned. Even now Danzo is very afraid. Who has risen step by step from a civilian ninja is really unbelievable. Confidence. At first, he defeated Rasa, the most famous and likely to inherit the position of Kazekage for 4 generations. Afterwards, he was even more successful in the Ninja World War, and even the name of the original 4 generations of Hokage was suppressed by him. In the beginning, he even entered the village of Kurigakure with one person's strength, and settled a great war. Later, after suppressing Kumogakure village, beheading Killer Bee Jinchuriki, column force, and killing Yahweh with one sword, no one can surpass him. Even, he is comparable to a human-shaped conscious-tailed beast. No, it should be said that he is more terrifying than the tailed beast. Danzo thought of these, the greed in his eyes became stronger. That should not exist has surpassed Tsunade's medical ninjutsu in cooperation, and he is no longer the level that this ninja continent should have. If such a guy is for his own use, there is no future for the entire Konoha village. Danzo is getting more and more excited that he feels the ultimate use of Koto Amatsukumi has been found. Meanwhile, just when Danzo was thinking, outside the roots, this is a dark corner. The solid wall built here suddenly becomes as loose as a quagmire. A man with short green hair, slowly showing his half-body, appeared in it. The root ninja who just left Danzo's office didn't notice that the green-haired man was staring at himself with a pair of yellow pupils. Philo reminds you, push the latest chapter Baidu search 99 playmates looking for 99 novels. 286. Absolutely, fifth more. Looks like I'm going to tell Madara what's going on here. The man with yellow eyes and green hair, after seeing the root ninja walking away, he secretly said in his heart. I saw that he looked weird, his body was half black and half white, and the whole person was wrapped by two huge leaves, which looked very mysterious. Slowly, when his voice just fell, the whole person has sunk into the solid wall. The mountain behind Konoha village. This is a hidden cave. Despite its location not far from the village of Konoha, it has remained undiscovered. It is surrounded by towering trees and jungles, like a natural barrier, so people don't know that there is a naturally formed cave hidden here. Inside the cave, a man sat quietly there. He was wearing a black robe embroidered with yuhi-colored auspicious clouds, and an orange-yellow wooden mask on his face. On the mask that looked like Uzumaki, only one eye was exposed. At this time, the land in front of him began to change slowly, and a man wrapped in two leaves showed his half-body. When the masked man saw his appearance, there was no trace of surprise on his face, but he said, absolutely, what's going on? Shisui has committed suicide, and Konoha village is about to be in chaos. Danzo has already received news. I think it won't be long before the Uchiha family will stage a coup d'état. It seems that all this is as you expected, and we can sit back and enjoy it. Ju looked up at the masked man, he did not hide it, and told him all the information he had obtained. Man stood up after hearing this, and a smile appeared on his face behind the mask. Obviously, he has everything under control. Okay, it's time for us to meet Uchiha Itachi. Halfway through, the masked man looked at Juju and finished speaking, and Uzumaki began to appear in the void in front of him. Wait, Ju is talking, he has already left this cave. At the same time, with Shisui's disappearance, the entire Konoha and Uchiha clan seems to have lost their balance, and the relationship between the two sides began to crack. The entire Uchiha clan naturally knew that Shisui had disappeared. The core high-level officials of Konoha village also began to send people to look for Uchiha Shisui. Although everyone discovered the battlefield in the jungle, it was a pity that Danzo had already ordered people to clear it all up. Everyone did not doubt him at all, but instead pointed the finger at Uchiha Itachi. Especially, the Uchiha clan, they all started to think that Itachi had some problems. After all, they had assigned Uchiha Shisui to monitor him secretly. Now that such a situation has occurred, everyone has already thought of Itachi unnaturally. As if someone was guiding him, Shinobu of Konoha village had begun to feel the breath of depression. Just half a day, they were in charge of adjusting the members of Anbu, and they also found Shisui's suicide note. The suicide of Uchiha Shisui is like a flame that completely ignited the entire Konoha. Night. Biting cold winds roared across the entire Konoha. Hokage building. Shisui's suicide has caused the morale of the Uchiha clan to drop instantly. Uchiha Itachi stood in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen and reported the news of the Uchiha clan to him. Now the Uchiha family has begun to suspect that you killed Uchiha Shisui. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded, looked at Uchiha Itachi and said, my philosophy is the same as Shisui's, it's all about peace between Uchiha and Konoha. Only some people who don't understand these things would think so. When Uchiha Itachi heard Sarutobi Hiruzen say this, there was no surprise on his face, he just replied lightly, without even arguing. Well. Sarutobi Hiruzen did not deny it, and there was no doubt in his eyes. It is not this problem that he is thinking about now, but the relationship with the Uchiha family is gradually becoming a serious relationship. 3 generations, I came to see you today not to discuss Shisui. But I have made a decision, so I want to tell you this. Soon. No wait. Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke again, and Uchiha Itachi spoke directly to him. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little surprised, and immediately said, "Decided." You said. This decision is very simple, and it is also in accordance with what Danzo-sama said before. Uchiha Itachi did not talk nonsense, and blurted out all the things he had thought about before. After a long time, Sarutobi Hiruzen sat on the big chair. His expression showed a rare seriousness. The pair of eyes didn't have many surprises, on the contrary, he also thought about it like this. Are you sure you want to do this? Itachi nodded with a serious face. Okay. Silent for a long time. Yuanfei Hiruzen stood up, turned around and looked behind. Glass, you can directly overlook the main road of the entire Konoha village. Although it was late at night, the whole village still seemed peaceful and quiet. Picking up the pouch in his hand, Sarutobi Hiruzen took a sip. Now his face is serious, and he is obviously thinking about what Itachi just said to him. Moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded and said as if by default, "Go back first, Itachi." Yes. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen's appearance, Uchiha Itachi didn't say more, immediately dodged away from the spot. Exit the Hokage building. Uchiha Itachi did not immediately return to the clan, but rushed in the direction of the palace leader. Now that everything has been settled, he decided to finally find Gongyi and solve his last worries. Swish. Uchiha Itachi dodged, and now he has come to the outside of Konoha village. However, his figure suddenly stopped, and instead of continuing to drive ahead, he looked in the direction of the thick towering tree in front of him. Come out, I know where you are. Hee, we meet again. A sneer came from behind the towering tree, and the masked man walked out. How about what I said before, have you considered it? What I need is the redemption of the Uchiha family, not the destruction. Uchiha Itachi looked at the masked man and said indifferently, obviously not agreeing with what he said before. The words that want to destroy the Uchiha family. What you call redemption is also killing, and what I call destruction is also killing. What's the difference? Masked man seemed to see through Uchiha Itachi's heart, and his tone was full of sarcasm. The next second, before Uchiha Itachi could speak, the masked man said again. To read the underlined version of the novel, please download the latest chapter of Fei Lu Shaokan. Or block the collection of IP. Chapter 287. Ah. Before Itachi could speak again, the masked man continued, even if you want to carry out the redemption in your mouth, do you think you would succeed without my help? But you also have to understand. I will only choose to cooperate with you. Instead of being controlled by you, to directly destroy the Uchiha family. Hearing the masked man finish speaking, Uchiha Itachi was just a pair of dark eyes that turned into blood yuhi, and then began to change from 3 tomo to Mangekyo Sharingan. The current Uchiha Itachi is not really stupid enough to obey the command, he doesn't hesitate to reveal his trump card, and naturally wants the master to take the initiative. After all, he wanted to leave the life of his younger brother Uchiha Sasuke when the clan was exterminated. Everything I do now is the result that Uchiha Itachi has long thought about. He knew that this man who was suspected to be Uchiha Madara would definitely find himself. And now, seeing him here, Uchiha Itachi knew he had guessed right. Next, if you want to rely on your own strength, you can't really defeat the Uchiha clan. So this, Uchiha Madara. Help is also very important to you. But now Uchiha Itachi needs his help, but he doesn't want to be a puppet controlled by others. Well, it didn't disappoint me. Did you successfully open Mangekyo Sharingan? Masked man looked at Uchiha Itachi's pair of eyes, and he showed a moment of surprise. However, this kind of strangeness was quickly suppressed. He was not surprised, on the contrary, he had already vaguely guessed it. A while, the thought that I wanted to use Uchiha Itachi as a puppet slowly disappeared. Uchiha Itachi had a terrifying mind at the beginning, and his strength was not weak. But the masked man didn't want to cooperate with him. After all, he was a little worse. But today when he saw Uchiha Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan, the masked man changed his mind. Clap clap clap. Gently patted his hands twice, the masked man looked at the silent Uchiha Itachi and said with a smile, "Congratulations to you. The cooperation you just mentioned is something that I think can be considered." Masked man slowly walked in front of Uchiha Itachi and continued, "But I promised to cooperate with you, so should you agree to the same condition for me?" "What conditions?" Uchiha Itachi did not withdraw Mangekyo Sharingan, but looked at him with a wary expression. Now he doesn't know if this elusive guy will kill him in an instant. "Join my organization." The masked man is straight to the point, no nonsense at all. Now he stared at Uchiha Itachi with his lonely eyes, as if waiting for his answer. Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi showed a hint of confusion in his eyes. "Join your organization. You just need to tell me to agree or reject it. I can't talk to you too much now." Masked man didn't explain anything to Uchiha Itachi. Silent for a long time. Uchiha Itachi thought a lot, and then saw the Mangekyo Sharingan in his eyes slowly disappear. "Okay, I promise you." The Ent still agreed. This mask calling himself Uchiha Madara is now what he calls an organization. That's right, it's scary. Now that he invites himself, it is not impossible to agree. Bring it for Konoha. Up to now, Uchiha Itachi is still there, carrying out his and Shisui's philosophy. "Oh, good. About the follow-up of the Uchiha family, you can come to me at any time when you plan." Masked man smiled, and the pressure that was about to be released just gradually disappeared in an instant. That, he threw a token to Uchiha Itachi, apparently to find his way. Next second. "Wait," Uchiha Itachi spoke, and the masked man was pulled in by Uzumaki, who appeared in front of him, and disappeared without a trace. Holding the token in his hand, Uchiha Itachi did not speak with a calm face. He looked at the place where the masked man disappeared. He did not continue to stand here, but immediately dodged and walked towards the direction of the palace leader. "Madara, why are you trying to woo Uchiha Itachi into Akatsuki this time?" Seeing the disappearance of Uchiha Itachi, Ju slowly revealed half of his body in the ground. Nothingness all around, but he said lightly to the air, as if he didn't care that there was no one in front of him. "Why do you want to win over Uchiha Itachi and enter Akatsuki?" A voice suddenly appeared, a piece of Uzumaki appeared above the void, and the masked man who had just left appeared again. He stared at the puzzled Ju in front of him at the moment, and said lightly, "Because of the current Uchiha Itachi, he is very suitable for our organization. If it was only at the beginning, he was not the best person, but when he successfully opened Mangekyo Sharingan, it was different. After Deidara's death, our organization has been left with no one to replace, and now Uchiha Itachi is the best choice. Having an extraordinary IQ and analytical ability, as well as a mind that can face everything calmly, is very beneficial to our future development. Especially, that's what he's going through right now. It's very much in line with our Akatsuki philosophy." Hearing the masked man's answer, it was absolutely undeniable, and he continued to ask, "Why didn't you invite Uchiha Shisui? His strength is well known in the ninja continent, and he is also very powerful." "Hehe, Uchiha Shisui." Masked man sneered after hearing Ju, "Because Uchiha Shisui's power is too strange, especially his Mangekyo Sharingan's ability, is enough to make everyone jealous." Saying that, the masked man looked at Ju as if he had thought it over and said, "After all, no one knows if he will silently control us for the benefit of Konoha. Well, it seems that as you said, inviting Uchiha Shisui is indeed very risky. Inviting Uchiha Nomi Itachi would be more beneficial to our next plan." Seeing that the masked man didn't win over Uchiha Itachi just because his head was hot, he couldn't help but think that was the case. Now that he thought about the words of the masked man carefully, he couldn't help but feel that he was really inappropriate. After all, their Akatsuki now wants to complete the next mission, and a tyrannical and reliable ninja is an indispensable part. The leader of the palace. Although it was already late at night, Gong Yi did not rest. Was getting closer and closer to the start of the plot, and he didn't let up in the slightest. Because at that time, countless powerful guys will naturally begin to appear. Although I think it is possible to suppress the ninja continent at present, Gong Yi, who is familiar with the plot, does know it. All of this, it's not enough. At this time, Gong Yi, who was sitting cross-legged in the central hall and practicing with closed eyes, suddenly opened his eyes. Come on, come in. Gong Yi looked forward with deep eyes, he said with a faint smile. Moment, it seemed that everything in front of him became transparent, and Gong Yi's eyes were fully captured. And although this sound may seem small, it can clearly fall into the ears of Uchiha Itachi, who has been standing outside the door for a long time. After leaving the masked man, he had actually arrived at the door of Gong Yi's house long ago. But it has been too late to go in. Obviously, Gong Yi and Uchiha Itachi are still a little in awe. This powerful man has planted a seed called fear in his heart since he was a child. His strength is really terrifying. Chapter 288. Request. Come on, come in. A clearly visible voice fell into Uchiha Itachi's ears. There was no surprise on his face, on the contrary, he had long known that Gong Yi would find him. Lord Gong Yi had already sensed him when he first came here. Uchiha Itachi knows. Entering the house, Uchiha Itachi saw Gong Yi sitting quietly looking at him. Already figured it out. Seeing Uchiha Itachi's resolute look, Gong Yi asked with a smile. In fact, the question is only a tentative question. After all, Gong Yi knows the plot well, and he knows it's inevitable. Now Uchiha Itachi is looking for him, presumably because of this. Well, Lord Gong Yi, I have completely thought about it. Uchiha Itachi nodded and said softly, I still decided to follow Danzo-sama's wishes and come and stop the Uchiha family from this coup. Is it worth it? Gong Yi saw that Uchiha Itachi chose to destroy the family as expected, but he didn't show any surprise. Contrary, now he is still sitting there very indifferently, just asking softly. It's worth it. In order to prevent the whole village from fighting, it's fine for me to take care of it all by myself. Uchiha Itachi's eyes gleamed with determination. When he returned to Gong Yi's words, he inadvertently thought of his father before, and he used the ability of Mangekyo Sharingan Suzanming to make the two scenes he saw. The Uchiha clan was victorious, but brought the disaster of war to Konoha. The failure of the Uchiha family is also inevitable. Konoha will also suffer disaster. Shisui's death has already made Uchiha Itachi want to understand. If you want to stop all incidents, then someone needs to bear it all alone. Since it's your own choice, I hope you won't regret it again. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi had decided, Gong Yi stopped talking. But at this time, Uchiha Itachi looked at Gong Yi and continued, but before that, I want to ask Lord Gong Yi to promise me one thing. Tell me, what's the matter? Gong Yi's face. His face has not changed, and his whole heart has no turbulence. Although now for anyone, Uchiha Itachi's decision is enough to make people face change or silence. But Uchiha Itachi looked at Lord Gong Yi in front of him, but he still didn't change his face. No, as if there was nothing at all that made him worth the shock. Even now, he knows everything he wants to say, and you feels Lord Gong Yi, and maybe he already knew it in his heart. Immediately, Uchiha Itachi no longer hesitated and said, I want to invite. Gong Yi can take care of Sasuke Izuku. The third generation has promised me that I will take care of Sasuke, but I think it may be the best thing if Lord Gong Yi can give Sasuke guidance. Uchiha Itachi had hope in his eyes, trying to get Gong Yi to agree to his request. Although a little far-fetched, or a little bold, Uchiha Itachi still wants to fight for his younger brother. Seeing the rapid growth of Hyuga Neji of the Hyuga family, Uchiha Itachi knew that it was the most correct choice to hand Sasuke to Lord Gongyi. If Lord Gongyi is willing, Uchiha Itachi also has no worries. Take care of Sasuke 1 or 2. Gongyi smiled when he heard Uchiha Itachi's request. Rejecting outright or agreeing happily, Gongyi continued, "Why do you think, now I will agree to your request?" Seeing Gongyi looking at him with a faint smile, Uchiha Itachi couldn't help but think inwardly. Who is Gongyi? That an existence that has to make concessions even to the top executives of Konoha. It is the strongest ninja who can suppress the entire ninja continent. Now my request is really unreasonable. However, the current Uchiha Itachi still wants to fight for it, so he can only continue to bite the bullet and say, "Master Gongyi, I really can't do anything for you with my current ability. But on the way I just came, I saw the masked man again, and he wanted me to join his organization." Uchiha Itachi did not hide it and continued, "Although I can't put forward any conditions that are beneficial to Lord Gongyi, if I successfully join this organization, I may send you a lot of useful information." The Masked Men's Organization. You mean Akatsuki of Uchiha Madara? Yes. When Uchiha Itachi heard Gongyi finished speaking, his heart skipped a beat. Lord Gongyi in front of him, he had already learned so much. And he also completely discovered the identity of the masked man, and that. An organization that he didn't even know about. It seems that Lord Gongyi has long known about it. Uchiha Itachi nodded. It should be Akatsuki in the mouth of Gongyi. Hehe, a group of guys who hide their heads and show their tails. Gongyi sneered as he recalled several previous encounters with his. Their whereabouts are elusive, and their current plans are even more elusive. If Uchiha Itachi, he is willing to provide information for himself, as an item monitor Akatsuki, it may also have good convenience for some of his own plans in the future. After all, sometimes, I can't really chase Akatsuki all over the world. As for the fact that he just went to call Uchiha Obito Uchiha Madara, he did it on purpose. Uchiha Itachi knows as little as possible, and now is not the time for him to understand everything. It seems that you have had contact with them, Lord Gongyi, so my joining may be able to help you now. Hearing Gongyi sneering secretly, Uchiha Itachi had hope in his eyes, looking at Gongyi and adding. Hehe, you think I will definitely need their information. Gongyi looked at Uchiha Itachi with an undiminished smile, as if everything he said just now did not tempt Gongyi at all. But, wait, Uchiha Itachi went to speak again, and Gongyi continued, but putting aside these trivial conditions, it is not impossible to help you take care of Sasuke. Gongyi didn't actually refuse. Since I will accept Hyuga Neji, I will not have another Uchiha Sasuke. The reincarnation of Indra, the eldest son of the Six Paths Sage, if he cultivated it since he was a child, he will naturally use it for himself in the future. And besides these reasons, Gongyi still admires Uchiha Itachi. Not to mention, what Uchiha Itachi has done is really admirable, especially for his own younger brother. Master Gongyi, then you mean that you are willing to agree to my request? Uchiha Itachi, who just felt a little hopeless, saw Gongyi turning around, and he asked excitedly. Chapter 289. The Beginning of Extermination. It is easy to grant your request. Gongyi said this for a while, looked at Uchiha Itachi and said again, but I need you to leave a letter. Leave a letter? Uchiha Itachi was a little puzzled, he didn't understand what Gongyi said. Yes, it is a letter. Gongyi nodded and continued lightly. You have to write down in your letter that this time the extermination of the clan is all done by Akatsuki of Uchiha Madara, and you, as the genius ninja who started Mangekyo Sharingan, they used Sasuke as a bargaining chip, let you join them. Afterwards, for Sasuke's life, you agreed to follow them to leave Konoha, and then secretly made an agreement with Konoha to become their spy and send information to Konoha. As if he had already thought about it, Gongyi informed Uchiha Itachi about the content of the letter. Gongyi is very optimistic about Uchiha Sasuke's talent and identity, that's right. However, he did not want to cultivate a disciple who only knew revenge. Also, if he controls Konoha village by himself, he will be a very troublesome enemy invisibly. Gongyi doesn't like trouble, and doesn't like asking for trouble. This case, it is better to nip such a thing in the bud now, and directly push Sasuke's hatred on Akatsuki. By simply pushing the boat with the current, you can have a powerful good helper yourself, which is a good choice. Thoughts here. Gongyi looked at Uchiha Itachi. If you think you can, then write this letter and store the important token with me. When you leave and Sasuke has grown to a level that I am satisfied with, I will give these letters to him. Hearing Gongyi finish saying this, Uchiha Itachi was silent for a moment. Obviously, Gongyi is doing everything perfectly now, Uchiha Itachi knows that. A long time, Uchiha Itachi nodded and said with gratitude in his eyes, "Then I will trouble Master Gongyi. I will send you letters and important tokens later." Well. Gongyi is still so bland, as if he doesn't care. Uchiha Itachi agrees or refuses, he doesn't show any surprise. For Uchiha Itachi, Gongyi naturally respects his choice. But since he agreed now, Gongyi also smiled. Because his choice is very correct. Soon, since Uchiha Itachi saw Gongyi's agreement, he didn't stay for long. Left here. Seeing Uchiha Itachi leave, Gongyi was sitting in the main hall and could only shake his head. Strength is truth, weakness is original sin. After all, it was the lack of its own strength, which led to a series of events. Gongyi put away his sai, and he started to continue to practice. The next day. The leader of the palace. Gongyi agreed to Uchiha Itachi's request yesterday. He had already written the letter overnight. Master Gongyi, Sasuke will ask you from now on. Coming back here, Uchiha Itachi also delivered something to Gongyi. Letter written according to Gongyi's request. A scroll-style item. One looks a bit rough. After Uchiha Itachi left, Gongyi opened the letter, and everything in it was exactly what he said yesterday. And Uchiha Itachi is also thoughtful, he also specially emphasized Gongyi's matter later. Not only did he set himself off again, but he also let Sasuke remember his kindness, and there were some things that helped him inside and out. To be said that Uchiha Itachi is indeed very considerate of people, and what Gongyi does not like to happen has been completely suppressed by Uchiha Itachi in the letter. Simply put it away, and look at the other two items. The scroll that Uchiha Itachi gave to Sasuke alone, Gongyi did not check. Gongyi naturally understands what to watch and what not to watch. As for this somewhat rough shuriken, it must be a testimony of the brothers at some point. Putting all the things in one place, Gongyi simply sealed it and placed it. The future, when Sasuke has the ability, Gongyi is handing over these things to him. Naturally it is not too late. Time flies. Half a month passed in a blink of an eye. Just half a month seems to be very fast, but for some people, it is a very long time. After the death of Uchiha Shisui, the entire Konoha and Uchiha clan, who seemed to be about to explode, were rarely quiet. However, such a harmonious and peaceful day on the surface has long been turbulent in the dark, and some sensitive ninjas, everyone has begun to smell a bad smell. Quieter it is, it also proves that an irresistible storm is about to come and sweep the entire Konoha village. Everyone started to have waves in their hearts, and they didn't know when such a disaster would break out. This day, Uchiha Itachi, who has basically planned everything, just walked out of the Hokage building, and the root ninja has come to him. Sir Danzo, please come over. Simply pass a sentence, the root ninja immediately. Flash disappeared. Uchiha Itachi stared ahead without saying a word. Now that Danzo went to call himself, he wasn't surprised. Is it about to start? Uchiha Itachi's expression slowly became slightly moved, but he was quickly suppressed by him. Turn around and walk towards the route on the other side. Deep underground in Konoha. Entering in a hidden location, Uchiha Itachi has come to the intricate routes. The whole area is a little dark, only a faint white light in the center illuminates the surroundings. Uchiha Itachi didn't care about this, and walked towards Danzo's office in front. The guards around the route ninja, they just gave Itachi a cold look and no longer care about him. In Anbu for a long time, Uchiha Itachi has dealt with Danzo countless times. Lord Danzo, you are looking for me. Knocking on the door, Uchiha Itachi asked Danzo who was sitting there. Itachi, Sandai has already told me everything. Your plan will now be implemented by the root. Danzo saw Uchiha Itachi come in, he got up on crutches and came to him. Implemented from the roots. Uchiha Itachi looked up at Danzo and asked again. That's right, things like this now naturally require a root shot. Danzo looked at him with a condescending expression, and only one eye exposed at the moment burst into a strange light. Of destroying the Uchiha clan is now beyond Danzo's desire. He needs the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan very much, so now this matter is the most suitable for him. Even if Sarutobi Hiruzen stopped him now, Danzo would still destroy the Uchiha clan without mercy. Of course, Danzo won't go into detail with Uchiha Itachi about some core issues. At the same time, Uchiha Itachi, who was standing in front of Danzo, did not speak again. In his heart that it was indeed impossible to use the power on the bright side for such a disgraceful thing. Some dark things must also be shot by Danzo. As for the rest of the matter, he doesn't care, and now the matter of destroying the Uchiha clan is also something he decides. Chapter 290. Are you ready? Soon, Uchiha Itachi came back to his senses and didn't bother with these anymore. Instead, he continued, it is indeed better for Lord Danzo to complete this matter, but I would like to ask Lord Danzo for one more thing. What's the matter? Danzo stood there on crutches, staring silently at Uchiha Itachi. His face was a little gloomy, and he obviously felt that the Uchiha Itachi in front of him was an extremely unstable factor. Especially now that Uchiha Itachi seems to be worried, and he feels that his plan is likely to change. I beg Danzo-sama to spare my younger brother Uchiha Sasuke in the future planning operations. Uchiha Itachi's expression didn't change, and he told Danzo directly. Now the entire Uchiha family can't be saved, even if the mother and father who were born in him can't save him, but his own younger brother, Uchiha Itachi, naturally cannot watch him be killed. This is his only bottom line, and this is his only thought. Lord Gongyi has already agreed, and now it's natural to be at Konoha village. Reason why Uchiha Itachi only said it now, then he is naturally ready to make Konoha village agree to his request. HMPH, do you think that the Uchiha clan can leave any trouble besides you now? Hearing Uchiha Itachi's request, Danzo snorted coldly, now that you're doing this, it's just too naive. Danzo knocked on the ground with his cane, and his attitude was obvious, that he wanted to refuse Uchiha Itachi's request. After all, he was naturally afraid that things would be revealed later, which would easily leave disaster for the entire Konoha. Danzo's idea is very simple, he wants to completely wipe out the entire Uchiha clan, leave no scourge, leave nothing, and get rid of them all. Lord Danzo, the 3 generations have already known about this matter. Furthermore, Lord Gongyi also promised me that he would take care of Sasuke Kazuki. Uchiha Itachi said, looking at Danzo, and continued, so. Danzo-sama, I hope you will agree to. Every word is heartbreaking. Uchiha Itachi naturally knows that now Danzo will not easily agree. But, now Uchiha Itachi directly spoke Gongyi out. Apparently, Danzo frowned on his just gloomy face after hearing Gongyi now. For Gongyi, Danzo is still very afraid. Although he and Gongyi seem to maintain a balance on the surface, in fact, his growth has seriously threatened Danzo. And Lord Danzo, if you really want to go your own way, then I don't think I will participate in this operation again. Uchiha Itachi didn't give in at all. Given that his younger brother's life was concerned, Uchiha Itachi naturally couldn't obey Danzo anymore. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi continued, and I will ask the 3 generations to let him cancel my plan this time. The scene is silent. Danzo has a gloomy face now, holding his cane tightly in his hand, and has not made a sound. Although he was very angry in his heart, he did not really vent his appearance in destroying the Uchiha clan, which is very important for the following research and plans. A long time, Danzo snorted coldly, "You go out first, I will consider this matter." Danzo didn't refuse anymore, he had already acquiesced to Uchiha Itachi's request in disguise. Soon, with Uchiha Itachi leaving, Danzo is still standing there. Now his whole person is terrifyingly calm, and his anger has obviously been suppressed. A kid who has not grown up in the Uchiha family, even if he stays, there is nothing, he can't stop himself, or it is impossible to have the power to subvert Konoha. There is an existence like Gongyi, and now the entire ninja continent is probably unique. Thinking about it this way, Danzo's expression softened a lot. A few days later. Lord Gongyi, here I come. Inside the palace, Hyuga Neji, who came back from the ninja school, was already standing in the courtyard. Oh, it's so early. Gongyi came out and saw Hyuga Neji, who had grown a lot, and asked. Today the school said there was some activity, where many students were left. But I wasn't very interested, so I applied to the teacher and sneaked back first. Hyuga Neji smiled and looked up to explain to Gongyi. There are activities in the school, and many students are left there. Hearing Hyuga Neji finish speaking, Gongyi looked into the distance and whispered to himself, the matter of the Uchiha family seems to be today. It's been so long since Uchiha Itachi left him last time. Combined with what happened at the ninja school today, it seems that they are ready to start. However, it's a bit of a coincidence. Gongyi shook his head. Originally, he was planning to go to the Nenga shrine of the Uchiha family today. Forget it, it's best not to disturb me. After thinking about it for a long time, Gongyi doesn't think again. Since I have decided that I want to check it out today, I will not change myself because of some external reasons. Saying that, Gongyi also looked at Hyuga Neji and started his second phase of guidance. At the same time, Konoha village. At this moment, the night has come, and it is gradually entering the winter climate, and the sky is always dark quickly. The bitter cold wind blew past, making the whole Konoha village quiet a lot. Outside Konoha, the lights are bright and everyone is happy. Although they live on the outskirts of Konoha village, pride is written on everyone's face. I saw the back of their clothes, the fan logo with Yuhi in white, which already represented their identities. Here is the residence of the Uchiha clan. Sir Danzo, everything is ready. Now all groups have been confirmed. From the residence of the Uchiha clan, this is a very hidden jungle. A root ninja with an animal mask on his face, he knelt here on one knee and reported to Danzo in front of him. Okay, now tell the enchantment squadron, immediately. Place a barrier around the Uchiha clan. 10 minutes later, all the squads infiltrated according to the position of the previous branch and began to destroy all members of the Uchiha clan. After hearing the report of the root ninja, Danzo who was standing here nodded with a sneer on his face. It was a wonderful feeling to be one step closer to his plan, and it was a pleasure to him. But soon, Danzo also suppressed his emotions and turned his head to look at the Anbu ninja standing next to him. I saw that he also wore an animal mask on his face, and was now quietly waiting for an order. Well, are you ready now? Chapter 291. Massacre. Well, are you ready now? Danzo looked at the Anbu ninja with a hint of brilliance in his eyes. Well. The Anbu ninja nodded and didn't talk to him. Itachi, I hope you don't make mistakes when you are in the most important position. Otherwise, you will know the consequences of taking over the future. Seeing that Uchiha Itachi was very cold, Danzo looked bad, and the whole person stared at Uchiha Itachi and warned. Danzo has been carrying Uchiha Itachi from the very beginning of the plan, and is now looking at him from the corner of his eye. Danzo wants to find the anomaly in Uchiha Itachi, to find something that will prove his regret. But Danzo found that he was wrong, because no matter how he looked, he couldn't find any extra emotion in Itachi. It seems that for him, he has already realized it, and even more. He has already prepared everything. My request has already been informed to Lord Danzo, and now you can rest assured about the rest. Since I have chosen Konoha, the things you are worried about naturally won't happen. Uchiha Itachi looked at Danzo and answered him slowly. At this moment, Uchiha's face behind the Itachi mask is complicated, but his whole person is not revealed. At this time, he has naturally followed his inner choice and will not go to war again. Being able to save his younger brother's life now is the greatest thing he can do. As for the rest, Uchiha Itachi knows that he must take care of himself. I hope so. Seeing Uchiha Itachi's appearance, Danzo snorted coldly. Since the last time, Uchiha Itachi held Gongyi to suppress himself, Danzo has been brooding. He doesn't like being threatened now, but Uchiha Itachi threatened him perfectly. Danzo thought of this, although his face was not good, but after feeling the power possessed by his other eye, he sneered confidently in his heart, Gongyi. I will succeed in controlling you sooner or later, and you will also become my hands. The strongest weapon that can suppress the entire ninja continent. How strong you are, how can I have Koto Amatsukami? I will be able to successfully control you. Swish, swish, swish. At this time, according to the instructions of Danzo just now, the squadron responsible for setting the barrier is already in place. They have a large squadron of ninjas, divided into several groups, and have surrounded the entire Uchiha clan in a large area. Arcane Enchantment Seal. Arcane Enchantment Seal. Reach the location, start a quick hand seal, then press your hand to the ground. At this time, several groups of ninjas spoke in unison and released the same ninjutsu. Large-scale enchantment-type compound ninjutsu, the ninjas of the squadron use it very tacitly. A transparent invisible imprisoning barrier begins to slowly form. In the residence of the Uchiha family, everyone is still there, each is busy with his own business, and no one notices. But the next second, in the hinterland of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Fugaku, who was sitting in the house, seemed to feel something. He put down the wine glass in his hand and seemed to look at the sky outside intentionally or unintentionally. Slowly sketching a smile, he suddenly wanted to understand something, and he didn't pay attention to it, but drank the soju in the cup. Peripheral. The enchantment ninjas sent from the root side, they have successfully set up the enchantment, and there is no one to interfere. The entire Uchiha clan has been completely enveloped by an invisible imprisoning barrier. At this moment, even if there is a loud noise inside, people outside will still not notice it. No one will come, and no one will come out. All blood slaughter is about to begin. 10 minutes passed by in a blink of an eye. The root ninja, who was in charge of the notification, saw that the enchantment had been arranged and immediately dodged to Danzo's side. Lord Danzo, we can act now. Let's get started. Danzo squinted his eyes and looked at the Uchiha family station not far ahead. Was still there, the lights were bright, and the sounds of children playing could be vaguely heard. Yes. But this time, as Danzo's order just fell, all the root ninjas around all fled away. The hundreds of root ninjas who had filled half of the jungle just now all disappeared in an instant. Only one Uchiha Itachi next to Danzo. However, before Danzo could speak, Uchiha Itachi glanced at the station in the distance for the last time, and disappeared in the same place. Seeing Uchiha Itachi leave, Danzo was silent, and his figure quickly disappeared. It seems that now Danzo, who has the same thing to do, doesn't stay here to supervise the battle. The other side. After Uchiha Itachi dodged and left, he came to a corner outside the station. Hehe, the rotten Uchiha clan really needs to be reborn. Go, of course I won't break my promise. In the void in front of Uchiha Itachi, a Uzumaki slowly appeared, and a masked man appeared in it. He stared at Itachi and said lightly, apparently the two had also reached some kind of cooperation before. Nodding his head, Uchiha Itachi didn't say more and left, and when he reappeared, he had already arrived at the Uchiha family's residence. The night gradually fell. The endless darkness around is like a ferocious beast, it is about to open the endless abyss and swallow up countless creatures. Pitch black above the starry sky, with only the full moon hanging above it, as if it was a moment of silence for those who were about to die. At this time, inside the Uchiha clan, the killing has begun. Hundreds of root ninjas, divided into countless groups, began to infiltrate them. You, who are you? PFF'd. At this time, a civilian of the Uchiha clan had just walked out, and before he could be surprised, he was beheaded and turned into a corpse. PFF'd, PFF'd, PFF'd. On the other side, the same thing is happening. All the root ninjas, the faces behind their masks are full of ruthless killing intent, and no one has the slightest mercy at all. There is only one belief in their minds, that is to complete the task given by Danzo. Kaden Fire Style Great Fireball Jutsu. Hula. Here, a ninja of the Uchiha clan, he quickly hand-seal released ninjutsu, and then retreated. Now he is very angry. The whole person looks at the root ninja in front of him and curses. Damn, Konoha has discovered our plan, he actually wants to attack us. King, a flash of cold light smashed the Kaden Fire Style of the Uchiha clan ninja. Almost instantly, the Uchiha clan ninja who was about to speak again was split in half by the whole person. Root ninja couldn't help but say no more, and began to kill the next target. At this moment, apart from endless killing, they no longer have any other emotions. Of course, it doesn't even explain anything. Chapter 292. Father and Son. Ah! Help! Poo-poo-poo, the screams and desperate screams at this moment have become the dominance of the entire surrounding. As Uchiha clan station is already full of blood and incomplete corpses. Our plans were leaked, fight them. Yes, kill. Up. Uchiha clan who started to react all around, they bit the kiba and looked at the root ninjas around. After a while, it was when they staged a coup and attacked Konoha. But it never occurred to them that, in turn, they were indeed attacked and killed by the Konoha village. The street that was peaceful before, now seems to have turned into a purgatory on earth. The helpless cry for help and the ruthless slaughter sound made all the ninjas of the Uchiha clan angry. Seeing the cold-blooded killing of the ninjas at the root, everyone could not help but say, and they began to fight with them. Only by killing them now can the Uchiha clan survive. If they take the initiative in turn, then everyone knows that the end of the Uchiha clan is destroy. The ninjas, who are fast hand-seal, are soon fighting with the root ninjas. Everyone is almost crazy, they are dead, ready to start desperate. Boom boom boom, boom boom. A burst of deafening explosions appeared, shocking the surroundings. Several Kaden Fire-style ninjutsu lights up the entire Uchiha clan in an instant, and you can clearly see that the entire station is full of corpses. Young people, old people, children. The blood flowed into rivers. The counterattack continues. Just relying on their weak strength, it has no effect at all, and the root ninjas have begun to slowly drive the ninjas of the Uchiha clan to a dead end. And at this moment, the clanging ninja tools collided, sputtering endless sparks, banging tyrannical ninjutsu, and constantly swallowing each other. No one in the sky noticed that a man was standing there quietly. He, at this moment, seemed to melt into the entire dark sky, making it impossible for people to sense his existence. Even among the dozens of root ninjas who set up a barrier around them, they didn't know that there was still a person standing in the center in front of them. The man is not doing anything now. That looks down on all living beings, without showing any turbulence because of the killing in front of him. That's how he stands here, framed by an invisible void. Dressed in white, with long black hair tied back, and his eyes were as deep as the infinite stars, as if he could suck people in at any time. If anyone notices at this time, it will be extremely awe-inspiring, even terrifying. Indifferent man standing in the void with his hands behind his back, they are all very familiar with it. Possessing incomparably powerful strength, he even suppressed the existence of the entire ninja continent with the power of one person. Gong Yi. Now Gong Yi has been here for a long time. Hyuga Neji's mouth today, Gong Yi just knows that Danzo's side may have started a plan with Uchiha Itachi. So, here he is. At this moment, he stood here quietly watching everything. Below. The roar of ninjutsu continued, and the entire Uchiha clan had already become a battlefield. The surrounding buildings were shattered, and some places were burning with raging flames, illuminating the surroundings. Under the sneak attack at night, no matter how strong the ninja power of the entire Uchiha is, it cannot turn the tide. Countless clansmen died in pieces. The entire Uchiha clan, although the screams came and went, but because of the enchantment, they couldn't pass it on at all. It seems that here now, it has long been isolated from the world, and only death is left. Here. Just when the root ninja slaughtered mercilessly, the masked man Uchiha Obito did not break his promise. His black eyes, which were exposed alone, have long since become Yuhi the gorilla, and the Mangekyo Sharingan on it has long been opened. As he used his strange space power, the elite ninjas in the Uchiha clan were also being slaughtered. The invisible relieved the pressure on the root ninja, and also made way for Uchiha Itachi to go to the hinterland. The siege of the sneak attack from both sides made the Uchiha family miserable at this moment. It is only a matter of time before it perishes. At this moment, although Uchiha Itachi was bleeding in his heart, he did not save the slaughtered clansmen around him. Not far in front of him is his home and the residence of the entire Uchiha clan. The man who started Mangekyo Sharingan, his own father, Uchiha Fugaku, was there. Swish. Keep dodging and jumping a few times, and Uchiha Itachi has come to this very familiar yard. At this time, it can also be perceived that the chakra power of the masked man and the chakra power of Danzo are also around. They are still worried about themselves, or they are monitoring themselves. His own father, Uchiha Fugaku, is still too tyrannical. Although he has been concealing the fact that he started Mangekyo Sharingan, it has long been known to some people. Presumably the current Danzo and Sarutobi Hiruzen may have already known about it. This time the Uchiha clan exterminated, perhaps also for this reason. His own father's Mangekyo Sharingan, his power was indeed a very disturbing factor for Konoha. As for the masked man who looks like Uchiha Madara, he may be the same. Everything now, Uchiha Itachi can guess. But this decision is his own choice, so naturally all this is no longer important. Swish. Uchiha Itachi stopped thinking, dodged again, and when he reappeared, he had already entered the house. The whole house was dark, only the moonlight reflected from the window, which could make people vaguely see the surroundings. The pale moonlight is intertwined with darkness, making people feel an endless sadness in their hearts. Ahead, Uchiha Itachi could clearly see two people sitting quietly. It was peaceful, and there was no panic at all. On the contrary, although there were screams all around, they did not go out to resist. "Is it Itachi, you are here?" Voice appeared in the mouth of the man sitting there. Although he turned his back to Uchiha Itachi, he could still clearly guess the person behind him. Father. Uchiha Itachi becomes a pair of black eyes. Yuhi, 3 Tomo Sharingan appear automatically. Looking at the man with his back turned to him, Uchiha Itachi naturally couldn't recognize him. The head of the Uchiha clan. Also his own father, Uchiha Fugaku. To see the ununderlined version of the novel. Chapter 293. Advent. Seeing that his father had been waiting for a long time, Uchiha Itachi took off the animal mask on his face. His face can be seen at this moment, it is an indescribable complexity. After all, the one who turned his back to himself and sat there quietly was born by himself and raised by his parents. Now Uchiha Itachi has already made a decision, but now that he is really facing everything, he still trembles unconsciously. But soon, Uchiha Itachi gradually suppressed the strange thoughts, and the whole person slowly regained his composure. His three-tomo Sharingan, Yuhi's pair, can be clearly seen in the darkness, and he is staring at his father Uchiha Fugaku. Itachi, did you still choose to stand with Konoha in the end? Uchiha Fugaku didn't seem to be surprised. Listening to the waning shouts outside, he already knew everything. The leak of the coup plan, the sneak attack on the Uchiha clan, and now the arrival of Uchiha Itachi. As the head of the Uchiha clan and the father of Uchiha Itachi, Uchiha Fugaku has long understood everything. Father, mother, He slowly pulled out the long sword behind his back, but despite the cold light shining in the faint moonlight, Uchiha Itachi clenched it tightly in both hands and trembled a little. Itachi, we all understand. Uchiha Makoto, who had never spoken, said lightly, and there was no disappointment on her face at the moment, but continued to say, follow your own choice, there is nothing wrong with it. Your mother is right, since all this is your choice, being a father naturally won't make you embarrassed. Although Uchiha Fugaku turned his back to Itachi, his eyes were always looking into the deep darkness ahead, as if he could see something. Next second, no wait, Uchiha Itachi spoke again, and Uchiha Fugaku continued, Itachi, then Sasuke. Father, Sasuke is still here. The school, he will be fine. Uchiha Itachi saw that his father was still there. Worried about the last thing, he immediately said. As their own younger brother, as Uchiha Fugaku's son, they have the same obsession. Although he knew that he was going to die, Uchiha Fugaku, as a father, naturally hoped that both Uchiha Itachi and Sasuke would be well. Really, that's fine. In Uchiha Fugaku's dead eyes, when he heard the news that Itachi said, a rare light appeared. At the moment when he was about to die, it was undoubtedly a bit unexpected for him to hear this news. Of course, more of it is that there must be regret in the end and finally no longer. After all, Uchiha Sasuke is so small, if he really falls victim to this coup, Uchiha Fugaku will naturally blame himself very much. Father. Go ahead, Weasel. Uchiha Fugaku didn't let Itachi finish his words, but closed his eyes and interrupted him, Sasuke. I'll leave it to you. Gave up resistance. Despite having Mangekyo Sharingan, Fugaku didn't take action, but just revealed his back to Itachi. Hearing this, Uchiha Itachi was speechless, and the clenched hands trembled. A pair of Yuhi's three-tomo Sharingan, it's all you choose, don't hesitate. Uchiha Fugaku's heart is already turbulent at this moment, even though he can feel the cold long knife in Uchiha Itachi's hand behind him as facing him. Although all this may be painful for you, there is no need to regret it. Uchiha Makoto showed a faint smile and slowly closed his eyes. Mother, I will still be proud of you. At the same time. At this moment Uchiha Fugaku, there is no more nonsense, a pair of black eyes have begun to become, Yuhi. Three-tomo began to appear, and then slowly turned into Mangekyo Sharingan. Itachi, in place of Uchiha's name, live well let's go. Flash of cold light, Uchiha Itachi bit Kiba and couldn't control it. He waved the long knife in his hand. With the moonlight outside the window, everything in the house was extremely pale. Orangutan Yuhi is intertwined with a faint light, making everything look endlessly sad. At this moment, Uchiha Itachi could also clearly perceive that Danzo and the masked man chakra disappeared and left together. Obviously, after the death of the most dangerous being in the entire Uchiha clan, they no longer have any worries. Inside the residence of the Uchiha clan, which had just been chaotic, gradually became silent. Looking around, there are corpses of members of the Uchiha clan lying everywhere. At this moment, the blood was accompanied by a fishy smell, lingering in the air. Uchiha ninja who resisted stubbornly were gradually eliminated. Shua, on the battlefield, a white figure kept passing by. It's impossible to catch it with the naked eye. Root ninja can't see it, not even the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. His speed is so fast that even if someone sees him, he cannot pass it on. Because it's turned into a corpse. This way, somewhere in the house of the Uchiha clan. Puff. A Uchiha clan ninja with Sharingan, he has been beheaded here with an unwilling face. In front of him is a team of root ninjas. Several people wore masks on their faces, making it difficult to see their faces, and some only had ruthless killing intent. You go and take off his Sharingan. The head ninja looked at the members next to him, and said lightly, Master Danzo has given an order, let us recycle as much Sharingan as possible. Yes. Several members of the root group did not have any doubts, and dodged in front of the ninja of the Uchiha family to prepare to attack. Kang. But the next second, when they just took Sharingan into their hands, they saw a golden glow suddenly appearing in front of them. It was extremely dazzling, and the dark night sky all around seemed to be reflected in golden yellow. Eyes of several root ninjas widened, and without even making a sound, they were directly penetrated by the golden light. Who is it? The leader of the root team standing behind was startled, and was taken aback by the sudden scene, and the face behind the mask was full of shock. A few members who were not weak just now have all fallen to the ground and become corpses. And at this time, in front of him, he didn't even know when. A man was already standing. He is tall and straight, looking at Sharingan in his hand with a calm expression. Incomparably beautiful face, he couldn't recognize the last surviving root ninja. It was Jin Dun just now. You, Lord Gongyi. Fei Lu reminds you. 3 things to read, collect, push and watch the latest chapter. Baidu search 99 playmates, find 99 novels and LT. Chapter 294. Why do you need to explain? The comer is naturally Gongyi. Sharingan he just got into the vessel without haste and sealed it. Beginning to the end, not only did he not take any words from the root ninja, even look up when he looked up. Came to the Uchiha family residence today, Gongyi didn't really come to appreciate their massacre. But on this night, he wanted to go to the Nenga shrine of the Uchiha family. There is the secret place where all the Uchiha clan are buried. The main purpose of Gongyi is also the stele placed in Nenga shrine. I am now instructed by Danzo the Great. The last surviving root ninja, seeing that Gongyi ignored him, he immediately wanted to blurt out Danzo's order, so as to want Gongyi to give up the idea of robbing Sharingan. Before he could finish his sentence, he felt a golden light flashing in front of his eyes. Then he heard a pop, and he only felt a chill on his chest, and his consciousness was completely blurred. Just now, although he couldn't compete with Gongyi, he was confident that he had a chance to escape. When he really faced Gongyi's random blow, he felt that his thoughts just now were too naive. Next second, the whole person was already kneeling on the ground. Wearing a mask, he was looking at Gongyi with an unspeakable expression. There was panic, fear, and remorse. Of course, Gongyi didn't care at the moment. After he got Sharingan, he immediately disappeared in place. 4. These cold-blooded ninjas who were brainwashed by Danzo, he was not in the slightest mood to pity them. When he reappeared, Gongyi had come to the main road in the Uchiha tribe. Many of the surrounding buildings have been destroyed, and some places are still burning with flames that have not been extinguished by Kaiden fire style. Cold wind was blowing, and a bloody smell mixed in the air drifted past, and the corpses and blood in front of you could be seen. Gongyi glanced at it lightly, and then he walked towards the location of Nenga shrine. As for death, Gongyi, who has experienced countless wars, has seen too many. There was no turmoil in his heart. After successfully obtaining Sharingan, you can also explore the stone monument at Nanga Shrine. That he doesn't know yet, the things on the stone tablet. Maybe it will help. The next thing. Gong Yi. At this time, with Gong Yi dodging and appearing, Danzo just appeared in front with several root ninjas. Danzo looked gloomily at the moment, and Danzo was thinking about his next plan after Uchiha Fugaku was killed by Itachi. Now seeing Gong Yi's sudden appearance, my heart suddenly tightens, and I have a bad premonition. But soon, such emotions were suppressed, and he thought that he already possessed the ability of Koto Amatsukami. This ability made him gradually feel at ease. What am I doing? Do I still need to report to Danzo? Gong Yi's face. Rong showed a sarcastic look, standing there quietly watching Danzo. Although all around were root ninjas, he still couldn't make him show the slightest bit of emotion. As if everything here is irrelevant to him, as long as he wants. Then everything can be removed. HMPH, now I'm working on the Konoha core secret plan, you can't make trouble if you want to. Danzo snorted coldly when he saw Gong Yi's face, and the crutches he was leaning on were clenched tightly in his hands at this moment. If it wasn't for the fear of Gong Yi's power, he would have called someone without hesitation to attack him directly. Whether you're here for your own plan or for Konoha's secret plan, I don't care. Gong Yi looked at Danzo with a half smile, as if seeing through everything about him. Immediately, Gong Yi's aura suddenly changed, but, if you come to disturb me, it's hard to say. Danzo groaned as he crunched his cane, and his heart skipped a beat. Although he looked calm on the surface, he was actually a little cold all over, and he felt that his plan had been vaguely noticed by Gong Yi. Not to mention outsiders about such a top-secret plan, even the root ninjas under him are completely unaware. Now that it has been hidden in his heart for a long time, the plan that was about to be half successful was vaguely guessed by Gong Yi, and Danzo couldn't bear it anymore. When maybe it was after he had told him that thing before, and now he has deduced it for a long time, Danzo has already wanted to use the covered eye to directly release the seal and release the power of Koto Amatsukami. Own things, he did not want to expose. At the same time, when Danzo was still there and already had his heart set on killing, Gong Yi stood there and still sneered. Danzo's plan, how could he not know everything about the future of the entire ninja world? Gong Yi is completely in control. Danzo now destroys the Uchiha family, which seems to be stifling the bud of the coup, for the future development of the entire Konoha village, and to avoid war. However, Gong Yi clearly knew that he was only collecting Sharingan for a more open and honest purpose. At the beginning, he had given him the information for the study of primary cells, and he must have made a breakthrough now. In short, he already wanted to use more Sharingan to suppress the cells of the original Hashirama. He is old, and like Sarutobi Hiruzen, the various wars in the early years have caused his whole body to suffer a lot of damage. At this age, all kinds of hidden pains have been exposed. Only now can we keep growing Hashirama cells and let them exist in our body, so that we can live and live longer. The same way, now that he has Hashirama cells, the power he can exert is also different from before. It is because of this that all kinds of benefits have appeared over and over again, so he will stop at nothing to collect Sharingan. Because it is as effective as it says on the cells that suppress the first-generation Hashirama. HMPH, you have already kept saying that you were neutral. Seeing that Gong Yi ignored him, Danzo continued to speak with a gloomy expression. Now, do you still want to do something here? Oh. Hearing that Danzo began to fight against each other intentionally or unintentionally, Gong Yi turned his eyes to him again, and said slowly, I'm doing what Gong Yi does, why do I need to explain it to you? Chapter 295, Koto Amatsukami, Solution. Why do you have to explain it to me? You Gong Yi, what a big breath. Danzo became angry with shame. His heart was already full of killing intent, and his anger could not be suppressed at all. Now, seeing that Gong Yi ignored him at first, and now he looks at him with a look of indifference. At this moment, as if what Gong Yi had just said had completely become the fuse, Danzo couldn't bear it any longer. Originally, Danzo wanted to wait until everything was ready before going to deal with Gong Yi's affairs. But now, it has been pushed to this state, and the arrow has to be shot on the string. Danzo can no longer suppress. He decided to use Koto Amatsukami to control Gong Yi now. This time, Danzo was no longer thinking, and the eye covered by the bandage slowly opened. No one noticed that this eye of his had opened 3 tomo, and slowly began to connect to Mangekyo Sharingan, who became a dart style. Gong Yi, do you want to betray Konoha here now? Danzo said grimly. His Mangekyo Sharingan, which was transplanted with Uchiha Shisui, has begun to appear the light of Yuhi the gorilla. Koto Amatsukami has started to be used by Danzo unknowingly. His whole face didn't change at this moment, showing a look of being provoked by Gong Yi. Each root ninja did not notice any difference, and everything around was still the same. Now Danzo has begun to subtly tamper with Gong Yi's will. Let him be his subordinate, let him be his most terrifying ninja humanoid weapon. Betray Konoha. Gong Yi didn't refute anything, and he didn't even explain a single sentence. Face was still indifferent, as if the Danzo in front of him was no longer worth his words. Danzo saw that Gong Yi didn't notice at all. He sneered in his heart, and immediately continued to ask, HMPH, don't you think your mission should be to protect Konoha, not here to prevent me from carrying out Konoha's secret mission? But at this time, Danzo's voice just fell, and Gong Yi did not speak again. As if the space had stopped, Danzo could only see Gong Yi. He looked at himself quietly like this. Hehe, Gong Yi, no matter how strong you are, you will only fulfill me. Seeing that Gong Yi was a little lost, Danzo showed an unconcealed smile. Crutches, Danzo walked slowly towards Gong Yi. Hehe, a very good pupil technique. Indeed, it is indeed the strongest demonic illusion of the Uchiha family. Mangekyo Sharingan just came to the front of Gong Yi, and before Danzo could speak again, a sarcastic cold voice came out. Who? Danzo's expression changed, and Mangekyo Sharingan in his right eye shrank. I didn't know when. A man was standing beside Gong Yi. With the dark night sky around him, he seemed to be blending into it, making it impossible for people to notice. At this moment, after Danzo saw this man, his previous calm appearance could no longer be maintained. Gong Yi. It's Gong Yi in a black robe. Danzo came back to his senses and looked beside him. Gong Yi here did not disappear. He was still standing there wearing a white robe. I didn't read it wrong. There are actually 2 people standing in front of me. Gong Yi, standing next to Gong Yi in white robe, looked at him with a sneer. The 2 were exactly the same, as if carved by a mill. Danzo is already cold inside. Don't find out the difference between the 2. The silent white-robed Gong Yi, the indifferent and sneering black-robed Gong Yi. No matter how he looked, he couldn't tell the difference. Danzo's brain has gone blank. How can one person have 2 spiritual subjects, which is completely counterintuitive? But soon Danzo also found something wrong. All the root ninjas around are the same, only I saw Gong Yi in the black robe. It was my own who used Mangekyo Sharingan, and then released Koto Amatsukami, and then I saw Gong Yi in the black robe. What's the matter, Danzo? Are you doubting the ability of Koto Amatsukami? On the handsome face of Gong Yi in black robe, the corners of his mouth rose, revealing a faint smile. However, when he heard these words in Danzo's ears, it was like a thunderbolt, which made him tremble suddenly. He was already a little confused. When he heard that the black-robed Gong Yi had revealed his whole card, he exclaimed inwardly. How could Koto Amatsukami reveal his hidden flaws, and everything that might be exposed has been solved perfectly? Gong Yi, how did he find out about himself? Even Koto Amatsukami's ability, doesn't he already know? Tisk tisk, I have to say Koto Amatsukami, it's really a strong ability. Gong Yi in black robe looked at Danzo with a playful smile on his face, and when he said slowly, he had put his hand on Gong Yi's shoulder, "It's a pity that Koto Amatsukami's ability is completely useless to me." Black robe Gong Yi finished his words, the silent white robe Gong Yi trembled slightly. Koto Amatsukami, solution. Kacha, as if a mirror shattered, cracks appeared in the surrounding void. In a trance, Gong Yi was still standing here, never moving. Sudden, his previously lost pair of black eyes gleamed again, staring directly at the already shocked Danzo. And in the next second, Danzo's Mangekyo Sharingan quickly began to return to black eyes, and at that moment he clearly saw. The black robe Gong Yi had turned into a ray of light, and instantly plunged into the white robe Gong Yi's body. Slowly come back to your senses. Gong Yi looked around, the root ninja was still standing here, their eyes behind their masks were staring at themselves. The cold north wind blew the bloody air, and the corpse was also still lying there. Danzo, who was standing in front just now, was a little different. Because now he is standing in front of him, looking at himself in horror. Such a good trump card, now it's a waste, it's really not worth it. The corner of Gong Yi's mouth, slowly evoking a smile and slowly opening his mouth, his eyes full of ridicule looking at Danzo, manipulate the target invisibly, and permanently change the target's mind and will. Just now, Koto Amatsukami's ability began to be released, silently, and following your guidance, slowly you can begin to be commanded by the subconscious, and finally believe that all these are completely logical things, and the will naturally follow you completely without knowing it. Change the idea. It seems simple, but it is so arrogant and unreasonable that it is indeed a waste for you to use it. And, you want to use it to control me, it's really courting death. As Gong Yi said, Danzo's eyes widened. Because, he had seen Gong Yi pressing directly towards him with an indescribable speed. Danzo's physique is very strong. But in such a close confrontation, Gong Yi's physical skills are countless times stronger than his. Gong Yi's sudden attack made the surrounding root ninjas unresponsive. Even if it was Danzo, his consciousness only followed a little, but his body couldn't react at all. Since this is the case, then this eye is still up to me to take care of, it will be better. Said that, Gong Yi has already stretched out his hand and grabbed Danzo directly. Bang, 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 Gong Yi's tyrannical physique burst out in the blink of an eye, and the whole person turned into a white shadow almost instantly making Danzo lose the ability to move. I saw a trembling look on Danzo's face, his hands were completely pulled in front of him, unable to fight back or hand seal. Bite Kiba without saying a word, Danzo wants to retreat and leave here at this moment. But before he wanted to do it, his legs were aching, and they were completely destroyed by Gong Yi's physique. Gong Yi's physique movements were smooth, it seemed like a while, but it was just a flash. Just when the root ninja was just rushing in, Gong Yi's hand had already dug into Danzo's right eye. You, stop. At this moment, a frightened and angry voice from Danzo cut through the sky. Chapter 296. My stupid Aududo, 5th more. Almost in the blink of an eye, the white bandages that were tied to half of Danzo's face had dyed Yuhi. Just looking at the mysterious Danzo, his entire face has been exposed. Completely incapacitated, he slumped to the ground in such an embarrassed manner. It can be clearly seen that his right eye is now extremely empty. Let go, Lord Danzo. Quickly save Danzo-sama. Seeing that Danzo had lost his fighting power, all the root ninjas attacked Gong Yi with killing intent. They held ninja swords in their hands, showing a surrounding posture, ready to use the crowd tactics to engulf and kill Gong Yi. Humph. Gong Yi snorted coldly when he saw the root ninjas around him, his black eyes were staring at Danzo silently. As for the other root ninjas wielding ninja swords, Gong Yi didn't even look at them. But the next second, a golden light erupted in front of Gong Yi, and immediately rose into the sky, like a rising golden sun, shining around. This dazzling golden light shot straight into the sky, illuminating the entire Uchiha family. When it appeared, it was introverted, and then quickly turned into a golden longsword. A handful. 2. 3. It took dozens of illusions before it stopped. Breath. The root ninjas didn't wait to be amazed by Gong Yi's ninjutsu, they immediately swipe around. Jin Yun fills the sky with sword rain. Dozens of golden long swords are shining brightly, as if they have consciousness. They will kill all the root ninjas who try to get close to Gong Yi. At this moment, it is just now, the Uchiha clan as a big killer killed the root ninja, they were beheaded here in disbelief. For the Uchiha clan, the root ninja was a nightmare, but now the root ninja think Gong Yi is the real nightmare. Before they waited for the golden escape of the thriller Gong Yi, they began to fall in the air one by one, becoming a corpse. Were all beheaded before they even jumped up and swung their ninja swords at Gong Yi. In just a short while, it seemed that there was a strange corpse rain falling from the whole sky, which made people feel cold inside, from the feet to the top of the head. Danzo, don't worry today, I won't kill you yet. Gong Yi didn't care about the root ninjas around him who were killed. He was holding Uchiha Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan in his hand, and was looking at Danzo quietly at the moment. Of course, if it wasn't for your usefulness in the future, I naturally wouldn't let you go. Gong Yi said with a smile on his face, if you continue to interfere with me like this, then I don't mind at all. Really, kill you. Gong Yi, I really underestimate you. Danzo endured the pain all over his body, and he didn't dare to be arrogant at all. Although Gong Yi, he was smiling, Danzo didn't think he dared to kill himself. Biting Kiba, Danzo never again. More to say, he gave the order to the surviving ninjas around him, let's go. Swish, swish, swish. After hearing the order, a group of people couldn't help but surround Danzo in an instant, and then drove him away from here. From beginning to end, a group of root ninjas dared not look directly at Gong Yi. Seeing Danzo run away, Gong Yi didn't stop him. Danzo walked away for a while, Gong Yi's whole body also immediately flash disappeared. He could sense that Uchiha Itachi should be not far from his direction, but he didn't want to meet him again. After all, in a situation like this, it doesn't make any sense at all. Go, in the direction of Nenga Shrine. After a few dodges, Gong Yi is already there. And peaceful night. The entire Uchiha family has slowly returned to normal from the noisy and tragic scene just now. Danzo has left, and Obito, the masked man, hasn't stayed long. The entire Uchiha clan of New Oda, except Gong Yi who went to Nenga Shrine, there is only Uchiha Itachi who is still standing in his own home. No matter how fierce the battle outside just now, Uchiha Itachi was not going out. With the quiet now, Uchiha Itachi knew that his younger brother was coming back. Outside the residence of the Uchiha family, the enchantment has been withdrawn. Today, Uchiha Sasuke, who was left there late due to some activities at the ninja school, trotted back all the way back. He was still waiting to go home and tell his brother, his father and mother what happened today. When he returned to the clan, the whole person was suddenly stunned, and the cold sweat instantly flowed down. The main road that he knew in front of him was already full of corpses and blood, and all of them were people he knew well. Uncle and aunt. What's going on? Sasuke trembled a little, he couldn't believe that such a thing could happen. Go home. Sasuke trotted towards the house. Crunch. When the door was opened, he was completely stunned again. In front of him, his parents had fallen to the ground, and the blood was dripping on the floor, already a little dry. And his brother Uchiha Itachi, he was standing in front of him looking at him with an indifferent face. Father and mother, and those clansmen, what the hell is going on, brother? Sasuke looked at Uchiha Itachi in front of him and asked with a trembling voice. Although he didn't know what was going on, his brother was still there. Front of Uchiha Itachi, Sasuke's last line of mental defense did not collapse. Course, waiting for Sasuke was indeed Uchiha Itachi's indifferent voice. My stupid brother. Among Uchiha Itachi's eyes, Mangekyo Sharingan has bloomed with Yuhi-on's, which is particularly obvious in this darkness. Tsukuyomi, Mangekyo Sharingan's pattern slowly turned, and Uchiha Itachi's eyes met Sasuke at this moment. Immediately, Sasuke, who didn't understand it yet, was instantly stunned and froze in place. Ah! A pair of pictures, all the things Sasuke didn't want to believe happened in front of his eyes. Sasuke's extremely sharp screams resounded throughout the entire Uchiha clan's residence. As you saw with your own eyes, it was I who destroyed the Uchiha clan with my own hands. Uchiha Itachi looked at Sasuke, who had collapsed on the ground in front of him, and he said coldly, "But you are lucky, because now you are too weak and have no value to be killed at all. I'll keep you here, just keep hating me, and then living ugly, constantly running away, and trying to survive." When the words fell, seeing that Sasuke was about to faint, Uchiha Itachi's eyes showed a trace of reluctance immediately. Left here. Walking out of the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Itachi turned his head for one last look, then disappeared. Chapter 297. Nanga Shrine. Uchiha Clan Station. Nanga Shrine. Gongyi could guess what happened between Uchiha Sasuke and Itachi, but he didn't pay attention. Came here, and now Gongyi is. For the stone tablet inside. Originally, Gongyi just wanted to take a brief look and study it, but it looks like he can go a lot deeper now. Because just now, I got Mangekyo Sharingan from Danzo. In Nanga Shrine is said to be written by the descendants of Uchiha who recorded the deeds of the Six Paths Immortals, and many unknown secrets are recorded on it. Because of this, in order to fully watch all of its contents, you must use the power of Sharingan. But the normal 3-tomo Sharingan, it can only see part of it, and can't see all. Really useful content, you need to turn on Mangekyo Sharingan before you can watch it. But right now, I have the Sharingan of Uchiha Shisui in my hand, so I can see most of the content on the stone tablet. Of course. Gongyi wants to check now is the original content about Six Paths Immortals, not the content that Black Zetsu tampered with. As for the ultimate content of the legend, it requires Rinnegan to interpret it, and Gongyi is in no hurry to watch it. Now that I came here to study, it's nothing but the initial, that's all. Gongyi, who goes deeper, will try to figure out a way in the future. Go to the main hall of Nanga Shrine. Gongyi quickly stopped in the middle and looked forward. This stone tablet full of secrets, naturally, will not be placed on the entire hall like this. Gongyi clearly remembered the location where the stone tablet was placed. It should be in this underground location. There is the secret gathering place of the Uchiha clan, and the stone tablet is also there. And if I remember correctly, its entrance should be the main hall from the innermost position on the right, under the 7th tatami. But now Gongyi doesn't see it. Thinking about it carefully, the turmoil in the Uchiha clan just now must have been relocated by someone with a heart. Soon. Looks like it's right there. Gongyi soon found a hidden location, where a huge stone was quietly pressing down there. It is engraved with a cross, the incantation of the symbol, which is connected from the stone to the ground, apparently sealed here all the time. Oh, seal art. Coming to the front of it, Gongyi murmured to himself after taking a closer look. After a brief circle around the huge stone, Gongyi twitched the corners of his mouth and smiled. A very strong seal. It's Uchiha after all. Even if he doesn't specialize in sealing, the magic circle that seals this steel is still not inferior to the level of the seal of the tailed beast. But this is only for outsiders. In the current ninja world, his own sealing skills are definitely top-notch existences, and most of the sealing skills can't beat him. Except, similar to Chibaku Tensai, heavenly body bursting from the earth, which requires Rinnegan sealing technique, other sealing techniques can be unlocked with a little thought. After turning around the stone tablet a few times, Gongyi nodded. Next second, Gong Yi quickly put both hands together. Sealing art release. Boom, boom. At this time, just as Gong Yi's voice fell, accompanied by a loud noise, the huge stone in front of him began to vibrate. Soon, it slowly floated up inch by inch, until the entrance was revealed. It slowly stopped in the air. Below the stone is a passage leading to the underground, and there is still some faint firelight inside. The secret room of the Uchiha clan must be here. Gong Yi took a step and followed the diameter of the stairs of the passage to the bottom. What caught my eye was a passage, and there were torches hanging on the walls on both sides. At this moment, it was its faint firelight that illuminated the whole passage. Soon, according to memory, Gong Yi has successfully found the stone tablet placed here. Its size is not very small, it is placed in a spacious position, and there are large flames for special lighting on both sides. Well, it looks like it's right. Gong Yi looked at the stone tablet in front of him. Although he couldn't see anything with his own eyes, Gong Yi also confirmed that it was correct. A brief observation, Gong Yi looked around, and now there seems to be no one here except himself. That's fine, no one bothers you. Gong Yi walked in front of the stone tablet, ready to take it away and put it in the back room at home to study it. As for this place, it's not a good place for Gong Yi to study carefully. Early morning after the killing. Just dawn, and everything will be the time for the recovery of all things. This time period is completely the most silent moment. The leader of the palace. Gong Yi has returned from the Uchiha clan, and now he is standing in his secret room quietly watching the stone tablet that was moved back. After carefully pondering for a while, my current pair of normal eyes seems to really not be able to see any secrets. If you really want to see the content on the stele, it seems that you still need to transplant Sharingan first. Well, then transplant it. Let's take a look first. Gong Yi saw that there was no progress in observing the stele, so he decided to change to Sharingan first. I have done this a few times before, and I am quite familiar with it, and there is no pressure or burden. Although I don't like to use other people's eyes, but you can take it off and store it after using it yourself. Now that he has returned to the leader of the palace, Gong Yi does not have to worry that someone will disturb him. Being in a secret room can be said to be very foolproof. There are puppets arranged by himself outside the door, as well as the warning position of the psychic snake, and there is a seal inside. Gong Yi is not worried at all. He took out the vessel he had sealed before, and it contained Uchiha Shisui's eyeballs. It out, Gong Yi, because of his previous experience, did not hesitate, and immediately started the transplant. After a while, put down the medical equipment. Gong Yi placed his eyeball in the new vessel and put it away. The right eye that was just closed opened at this moment, and a strange light reflected all around. The black pupil disappeared, replaced by a piece of Yuhi's 3 Tomo, and finally turned into a dart-patterned Mangekyo Sharingan, and then stopped. At this moment, Gong Yi can clearly feel a strangeness. This is the power of Mangekyo Sharingan. Strong, indeed much stronger than normal eyes. But there are also many side effects. Gong Yi can know that if this eye is used for a long time, it will lose its light in a short time. Tisk tisk, it seems that if you want to truly gain the power that Sharingan brings, the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan is the ultimate choice. Gong Yi quickly suppressed his thoughts and didn't think about these. About Mangekyo Sharingan. He is not very interested in these. He has always believed that only his original eyes are the most suitable for him. Eyes are different from Hashirama cells. After the fusion of Hashirama cells, their own hematopoietic function, as well as cell regeneration and division, will make them completely their own. It's as if someone was disfigured in a previous life, through skin grafting. As long as you survive the rejection, and over time, you can slowly assimilate and become your own. Eyes, if someone else's is used, it is as if they are looking at this beautiful world for others. Gong Yi doesn't want to be Kakashi. He and Shisui don't have any bond either. Mangekyo on. Mangekyo Sharingan was turned on. Gongyi turned around, and walked towards the stone tablet behind him again. Eyes, it really is completely different. Chapter 298. Uchiha Steel. After replacing Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan, Gongyi looked at the stone tablet again, and the content was indeed different. Some words began to emerge slowly, onto the Mangekyo Sharingan to the right of Gongyi. One god in the world desires tranquility, divides the power of yin and yang, mutually repels two and two forces, and becomes one with each other, giving birth to Shinra Bansho, all creation. Seeing the words on the stone tablet in front of him, Gongyi murmured softly. These, the initial text at the beginning, and there is nothing too obscure. Gongyi looked at the god of heaven in front of him. He had already guessed secretly, this should be the six paths immortal. Continue to look towards the future. The power of yin and yang is divided, so it should be the power of yang and the power of yin representing Indra and Asura, these two forces. In the future, the mutual exclusion of two and two forces, and the opposite is one, and Shinra Bansho, all creation. When Gongyi read the next sentence, he already knew the meaning of the first sentence. It should be the power of yin and the power of yang. These two opposing forces, when combined together, can achieve true happiness. Secretly guessing, Gongyi doesn't. Needless to say, the content on this stone tablet is indeed difficult enough to understand. If I didn't have some understanding before, I would probably mistake it for the truth like Uchiha Madara. Put it bluntly, it is also the information of the brothers left by the six paths immortals, that is, to tell the Uchiha family that their power is divided, and remind them from the side that if you want to gain stronger power, then go and cooperate with Senju, the only way can truly make peace. As for Uchiha Madara's deathbed opening Rinnegan, he saw that, gathering the Kyubi, 9 tails, resurrecting the 10 tails, using the moon, casting infinite Tsukuyomi on the whole world, and finally achieving eternal ultimate peace. These, just tampered with after Black Zetsu. Gongyi can't see it now, but he doesn't need to see it. What he wants to know is only what he can see. Soon, while Gongyi was still studying the contents of the steel, a new day had come. The night like a dark monster has faded, and the light of hope has shone on every inch of the land of the ninja continent. Today's Konoha village is not as lively and bright as it used to be. Walking on the streets of Konoha village, many people can feel an inexplicable strangeness. In some small shops by the side of the street, the villagers were all pale. How can this be? Yeah, it's really unexpected. Overnight, there was only one survivor left. All the people are whispering, they feel a lot of incomprehensible believe. The Uchiha family was slaughtered overnight, and the complete genocide has spread throughout the streets and alleys. Although it was only just one morning, the news really spread like a plague. Swish, swish, swish. Not only the commoners of Konoha, but also the faces of Ichiban ninjas, also dignified and quickly headed towards the Hokage building. The entire street was even darker than before, with many people wearing animal masks. The whole Konoha was in a panic of suspicion. The Uchiha family is still famous. Although their base is outside of Konoha, everyone in Konoha is still well known. Their strength is so powerful that there is no need to question them, but that's it, only one child was killed overnight, and everyone couldn't help feeling panic. The civilians, of course, do not know the political level, and they are still worried that all this is some foreign enemy declaring war on Konoha. Those families within Konoha, some famous families like the Uchiha family, are indeed gloomy. The core executives on Konoha's side did not give any explanation, and they were still investigating there. As for the surviving child, he was sent to the medical center directly under Hokage. Everyone thought that all this must have something to do with the higher-ups in Konoha village. The news of the Uchiha family coup was revealed intentionally or unintentionally, and they all knew more or less. Now that something like this happened all of a sudden, many people have set their sights on the top of Konoha. Overnight, the entire Uchiha clan was wiped out. What kind of power is needed for the enemies of the outer village to infiltrate here and kill the naive idea of the Uchiha family, and no one from each family will have it? The entire Konoha area is impregnable. It is impossible to say that someone can simply sneak in without a sound. There may be only one truth, that is, Konoha's high-level executives directed and acted themselves, killing them in pain. Although everyone didn't say anything, the eyes they looked at Konoha's executives changed. Hyuga family. Now from top to bottom in the clan, they don't have too much joy. Hiyashi, who is now the head of the main clan family of the Hyuga family, is sitting quietly at the top. Front are 2 rows of the rest of the Hyuga family's upper floors. Everyone didn't speak, and there was some complexity on their faces. Although they have been fighting against the Uchiha clan, they are not happy to see the result of the Uchiha clan now. Now the Uchiha clan wanted a coup d'état, and they were silently wiped out. Then, if they are like this, or if they are framed, then Konoha will also be so unimaginable. That is in a state of panic now is not only the Hyuga family, but also the Akamichi family, the Nara family, and the rest of the family. The same is true. The genocide of the Uchiha family made everyone a wake-up call. At the same time, just when Konoha is still here, when everyone is suspicious and shocked, the leader of the palace, in the secret room of the home, Gong Yi, who is standing in front of the stone tablet, gradually disappears the Mangekyo Sharingan pattern of Yuhi in his right eye. He also basically had a preliminary understanding of the approximate contents of the stone tablet, although it was somewhat obscure and difficult to understand. But he can probably guess, without exception, the evolutionary sequence of Sharingan, as well as Sharingan's control over the tailed beast, as well as the power of yin and yang and 6 paths and so on. Some things. As for some hidden content, it is estimated that you will have to obtain Rinnegan later, or use the method to check it. However, Gong Yi is not in a hurry, and the current content has greatly satisfied his curiosity. Soon, Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan was put back in the vessel, and Gong Yi got his eyeballs back. Mangekyo Sharingan is powerful, but Gong Yi still doesn't like such imperfect power. At this time, Gong Yi had just finished packing up everything, his expression froze, and he looked directly outside. Chapter 299. Konoha is panicking, third more. Outside the door. An Anbu ninja with a mask on his face, he stands here quietly. He didn't get the orders from Gong Yi now, so he didn't dare to step in. This has completely become the unspoken rule of Konoha. No matter who came here, no one really dared to appear directly beside Gong Yi. They were all standing at the door, waiting quietly for Gong Yi's call. Over time, Gong Yi has made Konoha's ninjas respect him. Everyone was so in awe of him. Crunch. At this moment, the gate in front of Anbu Ninja's gate opened. Master, please come in. Gong Ling, who was wearing a loose black robe, looked at him. There was no expression on Bai Chuan's delicate face. As if this Anbu ninja was not in her eyes at all. However, the Anbu ninja seemed to be used to it and didn't care, but nodded, immediately. Stepped in. Coming to the house, Gong Yi was sitting there looking at him. What's the matter? Lord Gong Yi, Lord 3 Generations, please come over. After seeing Gong Yi, Anbu ninja knelt on one knee and lowered his head. Feeling the faint power of Gong Yi, his eyes were full of fear. Is something wrong? Hearing this, Gong Yi asked. The 3rd generation of adults explained. It should be about the surviving boy of the Uchiha family. Anbu ninja looked up at Gong Yi and replied. Sasuke. Gong Yi's face was expressionless, and he secretly said in his heart. 4. Sarutobi Hiruzen will find himself. He has actually guessed something about Uchiha Sasuke. Now he should still be in a coma. Sarutobi Hiruzen naturally wants to announce who the murderer is through Uchiha Sasuke. After all, the Kung Fu village should be full of suspicion, and the major families are also restless. If this situation persists, it is estimated that it will not be a good thing for the entire Konoha village. So, the only way to explain this matter now is to start with Sasuke. Can't wait for some. The corners of Gong Yi's mouth rose, and he could clearly guess what Sarutobi Hiruzen was thinking. Senses, Gong Yi looked at the Anbu ninja and said, I see, you go back first. Yes. Anbu ninja nodded, immediately. Dodge away. He was just in charge of delivering the message and didn't say much more. Konoha Village, Ninja Hospital. Not long after the Anbu ninja left, Gong Yi has arrived. Now the entire hospital is surrounded by ninjas, and Anbu is also at the door. It seems that many people are already paying attention to Uchiha Sasuke's affairs. Gong Yi stepped into the hospital and didn't pay attention to the matter. Originally, even if Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't come to call him today, he would decide to come and have a look. Uchiha Itachi had already promised to take care of Sasuke Kazuki. Gong Yi naturally wouldn't break his promise. Master Gong Yi, it's Master Gong Yi here. It seems that the child of the Uchiha family has been saved. Yeah, at least I can't be in a coma. The surrounding Konoha ninjas, after seeing Gong Yi's figure, all had a respectful look on their faces. No surprise, Gong Yi has already established a high prestige in the hearts of the whole Konoha ninja. Stairs, Dia came to Sasuke's ward. Sarutobi Hiruzen was standing now, his face gloomy. But this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked back after hearing the sound of the door being pushed. Seeing that Gong Yi was here, his face softened a bit. Gong Yi, this child's current situation, look. Now Sasuke has been in a coma, and it does make Sarutobi Hiruzen feel a little tricky. The whole of Konoha needs an answer right now, and that answer lies with Sasuke. Now whether Sasuke can wake up smoothly, Sarutobi Hiruzen is all pinned on Gong Yi, who is currently the most skilled in Konoha. He knew this well. Hearing this, Gong Yi did not speak, but walked to Sasuke's bed. Looking at Sasuke who was pale and closed his eyes, Gong Yi slowly opened his mouth and said, Ellie has already given him a comprehensive examination before, and there is nothing more to do. Gong Yi looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen lightly, and continued slowly, it must be because of the destruction of the Uchiha clan and the influence of some external stimulus, which makes it impossible to wake up for a while, but don't worry, it is estimated that the use of it won't be long before he wakes up. When he came in earlier, Gong Yi had a brief understanding of Sasuke's current situation. There was basically no physical damage, but it was probably due to the influence of Uchiha Itachi, who passed out in a coma. The specific Sarutobi Hiruzen they do not know, but Gong Yi is very clear. That's fine. Nodding, Sarutobi Hiruzen heard Gong Yi finish, and he gradually breathed a sigh of relief. The demise of the Uchiha clan had a considerable impact on their Konoha core high level. Soon, suppressing his thoughts, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Gong Yi and continued, in this case, come over to the meeting in the Hokage building for a while. Now that such a thing has happened, as the Hokage of Konoha village, he naturally has to give everyone an explanation. Of course, for such an important matter, he wouldn't leave Gong Yi out of the way, so he still informed him. Good. Gong Yi nodded and did not refuse. Although he knew about such a thing now, he didn't say much. Everything is their own choice. He has already chosen neutrality before, and naturally he will not fight for anyone now. Inside the Hokage building. Here is a large conference room. Sarutobi Hiruzen sat at the top, Danzo, Homura Mitokado, Kaharu Udatain and other core executives sat beside him. The rest of the ninjas who came here were mostly the patriarchs of the major families, or the strong Jonin. Exception, all of them are Jinchuriki column, the current branch of Konoha village. Opening the door, Gong Yi also entered the conference room at this time. As soon as he came in, he could feel a sharp light. This feeling, Gong Yi slowly looked over, and it was Danzo's eyes that released it. Although he seems to have nothing to do now, it can still be seen that he is very weak. Hee hee. The corners of Gong Yi's mouth rose, revealing a faint smile. Danzo saw Gong Yi looking at him at this time. He also retracted his eyes and snorted, and stopped looking at Gong Yi. He couldn't pursue such a vague matter. He could only admit that he was unlucky. Cough cough cough. Here, Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that Gong Yi had arrived, and he coughed lightly and said, "Since everything has arrived, then I'll start." Chapter 300. The Real Murderer. Since it's all here, then I'll start. Sarutobi Hiruzen saw that the people in front of him had arrived, and he stopped talking nonsense. After all, the atmosphere is a little weird now, so he said directly, "I think everyone already knows about the Uchiha family." Sarutobi Hiruzen swept his eyes to the front, showing an expression of heartache. After Anbu's investigation, this matter has now been confirmed to be completely true. Our Uchiha family stationed outside Konoha village has all been assassinated, but because of the artificial barrier the reason, when we discovered it, was completely irreparable. But fortunately, now it is known that there are 2 people in the entire Uchiha family who survived this tragic genocide. Everyone was silent and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, only to hear him continue. According to the intelligence description, one of the 2 is Uchiha Sasuke, who is now unconscious, and the other is Uchiha Itachi, who used to be a member of the Assassination Tactics Special Unit. 3 generations of adults, now the unconscious Uchiha clan boy, can he still wake up? Hyuga Hiyashi, who was sitting next to him, asked. Now the source of all the truth, I am afraid that it will be unearthed in this young man. Hearing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded and replied, now that Gong Yi has checked it out himself, he estimates that he will wake up in a few days, and there is no danger to his life. Hearing this, everyone also looked at Gong Yi. Seeing everyone's eyes, Gong Yi nodded and didn't speak. But this time, after everyone saw that Gong Yi had acquiesced, they were inexplicably relieved. Everyone breathed a sigh of relief. Now that Gong Yi has diagnosed that Uchiha's teenager is fine, naturally there will be no falsehood. Of course, now seeing everyone's reaction, Sarutobi Hiruzen and Danzo's side are indeed a little turbulent. Inadvertently, Gong Yi has shown his prestige. Since the teenager Uchiha is fine, then Uchiha Itachi, who is now confirmed to be alive, has disappeared, which makes people suspicious. Kaharu Udatane's face is not good, and he has opened his mouth here intentionally or unintentionally, pointing the finger at Uchiha Itachi. And everyone around, after hearing Uchiha Itachi, also frowned, with a thoughtful look on their faces. Apparently now Kaharu Udatane's words suddenly came to the point, making everyone have to wonder. Member subordinate to Anbu, he is a leader in both strength and psychology. Everyone is not a fool, and now the spearhead of all this and beginning to point to Uchiha Itachi. Hee. But here, Gong Yi sat there and did not participate in any of their discussions, just sneered inwardly. He felt as if he was watching a big political drama now. No, although Uchiha Itachi has disappeared now, there is nothing right now. Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head, and although there was some suspicion inside and outside the words, he showed righteousness, giving him the appearance that he would not misunderstand any good people. However, as soon as he finished speaking, he kept speaking gloomily, his voice slightly hoarse. Although the Uchiha family seems to be a victim, it is not unexpected now, this Uchiha Itachi has had this idea for a long time. Now my roots have begun to investigate and follow up. I believe that it won't be long before that, with the addition of that. The young man lying in the hospital, we can explain the final truth of the Uchiha family's extermination. Hearing this, the person who just thought that what Sarutobi Hiruzen said was not wrong can't help but start to doubt Uchiha Itachi even more. Face of Yuhi, the 2 of them, has turned pale now, and everyone in the room is starting to think that all of this. It's really a civil strife. After all, the Uchiha family wants to launch a coup. This is not what everyone did, and it's hidden inside. Of course, I and other outsiders don't know Akatsuki. Combined with their so silent deaths, a group of people began to think that maybe all of this was Uchiha's own doing. It seems that now we need to wait until the Uchiha clanboy wakes up before we can know the truth of everything. Nara Shikaku held her chin with her hand and said lightly. Apparently now he's on the side of the top Konoha. Yes, then we just need to wait quietly. That's right, now the truth of all this will be revealed to Akatsuki soon. Well, since it has been investigated, the murderer must be unable to escape. Everyone nodded, and didn't show any doubts about Sarutobi Hirazen's core executives. Now they have no intention of coup d'état, and naturally they will not go to the constant conspiracy theories there. 10 minutes later. Sarutobi Hirazen continued the discussion for a while, and then let everyone leave. From start to finish, without exception, Sarutobi Hirazen just wanted to turn the gun on Uchiha Itachi. Of this meeting was just their core executives, who wanted to dispel the doubts of a group of big clans and other ninjas. Now after seeing everyone leave, Sarutobi Hirazen they also know, now the purpose has been accomplished. Of course. Now after listening to Sarutobi Hirazen's speech there for a while, Gung-yi didn't bother to sit here and left as well. Obviously, Sarutobi Hirazen should also know about his trip to the Uchiha clan, and Danzo should have some reservations about telling him. But since he didn't talk to himself alone, Gung-yi stopped thinking about it. Anyway, now my mind is not on their politics. The lively conference room just now has become deserted. Only Sarutobi Hirazen is left, and Danzo is sitting here. Danzo, you've gone too far. Sarutobi Hirazen looked bad, obviously a little angry about Danzo's actions yesterday. He never imagined that now Danzo would dare to carry out Uchiha Itachi's plan directly behind his back. No matter what, the Uchiha coup has been resolved. Isn't that the most important thing? Danzo's gloomy face showed a hint of displeasure, and he felt disapproval of Sarutobi Hirazen's words. On the contrary, now you should not question me, it is Gung-yi who is really threatening now, not me. Told Sarutobi Hirazen a lot of things just after he left in embarrassment yesterday. Of course, some things like Koto Amatsukami, he hides. Don't want to say it, it's that I can't say it. So, now Sarutobi Hirazen naturally knew that Gung-yi went to the Uchiha clan, but didn't fully understand. Enter.